afford certain type of finances. I mean, like you said, you can't automatically jump into a person's wallet and say, okay, because we go together now, we live together, I'm gonna automatically assume that you can afford the rent or whatever.
I agree, because I mean, you're gonna know what somebody can.
Right.
That's the point of dating.
Right.
To know what they have, what they don't have,
Right.
where they gotta grow at, where they want to grow at. But I think that's for me. Well, first of all, T.W., let's get your before we start getting into it.
Like, okay. Well, I got a question before I even say it. Are you married?
Yes.
You married?
Yes.
Okay. I'm married too. All right. So
That's a perfect.
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We can see both.
yeah. Well, so let me just say this right here. I disagree with both.
Okay.
Fact,
All right.
because it's a mindset.
Mhm.
So the mindset is perpetuating something that we're dealing with right now in society. And you said those are the traditional ways. But if you scale out the traditional ways and bring it to where we are now, marriages is at a peril right now. They're not
Agreed.
lasting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then we talk about traditional ways as if there was something wrong with them. But we can see the data shows that more people stayed together when there were traditional ways.
Right.
So anytime somebody's talking about, well, that's the old way, it's the old way, but then you look at this, the new way doing it, it's not working. So if the new way's not working, then we got to go with what makes sense. So now, with that being said, I'll tell you my standpoint. I believe that first of all, a man should not even entertain a woman unless he himself has considered himself in a position to financially take care of that. A man is taking on a wife, right? And if he can't do that in the dating stages, you can't expect him to do it in the marriage stages. Now, if he decides he doesn't want to do it in the dating stage, that's no different than a woman telling a man that, well, I'll be a wife when you put a ring on my finger.
Right.
Either you are a wife or you're not a wife.
Right.
And if you're going to do that under certain conditions, that means it's not a natural thing for you. So either I'm a provider or I'm not a provider. I am not concerned about a woman taking advantage of me. Because that's where the younger generation is now. I'm not letting her take advantage of me. I'm not simping. I'm not this, I'm that. I don't think it's a simp being a provider. That's who I am. That's what I do. And before I decided to take a wife, I spent time preparing myself for this role as a husband, a provider, a protector. And what we're doing right now in society is that guys are jumping in to a situation and they don't have the qualifications. And one of the qualifications is being able to provide.
Right.
Now, when I married that woman over there, I told her day one, she will have the option to work. What we do and where we go does not depend on her at all. That's just me. That's my contribution.
Right.
Now I can get it a little deeper, but I'll leave it right there because I know you got more questions. But I just want to
I want to talk about that.
Can I interject real quick? So I originally said dating because when people date, right? How long? Can I ask everybody this question? How long do you feel people should date?
To get married
Yeah,
or
to get married.
Oh man, it's so different.
it is.
I would say like for safety, like knowing somebody, because you can easily fall in love with somebody in a week, and that's cool because obviously there's people out here that last it forever.
Right.
But I think for like safety reasons, knowing everything about a person, maybe like at least a year.
Okay.
I say maybe a little bit longer to like elevate to a marriage, like 2 to 3, so that you can at least really know if you want to take it to that next level. Like some people may need to know if they want to live together or whatever. Like every circumstance is different.
it doesn't really matter. I mean, it could be, it's
Yeah.
very
It's like
rare.
a
So
catch-22.
it depends on the situation. But I would say it took me 2 years. I know my wife 2 years, I was married.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I say that because you have people who are dating for 8 years, 6 years, and still have not even moved towards marriage, which marriage plays a major part in how I am going to provide, right? And mind you, I've been married going on 9 years. When I first met my wife, she moved into my apartment. Well, let me not say moved in. She kind of shifted her way in, and I was like, yo, you got a lot of stuff here. Yo. What's going on with this? Right? But we've been together since, and there was no question of what I provide for her because we had the chemistry, right? But when I'm filling out a person, and this is just, I've been married for a while now, but this is what I feel like when I've dated. It's a natural instinct for me to provide, but I've also dated some women that was a waste of me giving that effort and that might have been my type of.
I call that the price of doing business.
Okay, I can see why you say that.
It's the price of doing business. Because if I put myself in a dating market, I'm putting a product out. And I'm giving you everything that I am. I'm letting you know all the things I don't like, all the things I provide, I'm letting you know. Because I'm dating with a purpose.
Right.
Now, if I'm just having fun, if I'm just having fun, I'm having fun. So I'm giving you who I am. And once you know who I am, and then based on me showing you everything, how you reciprocate that, how you respond to that, and how you move in that will determine whether I choose you. Right. So I'm not going to hold anything back for, again, well, I'm not going to only do this until we, no. Look, it's the price of doing business. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay to play.
I think that's over. I think everything to get up to love is overshadowed by the money.
Right.
Because I do get it though. Well, it's the price.
Overshadowed by the money. What is the number one desire for a woman?
Who knows?
No, we all know.
Have a house.
No, the number one desire is security. That's the number one thing that a woman wants is security.
Not now.
I was gonna say
it is. It is.
Yeah, I'm like, it depends.
No. Security is the number one thing. Now, from where she gets it from is a total different thing.
Yeah, there we go.
You gotta listen to what I'm saying now. The security is the number one thing that a woman wants. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing is resources. So she can see herself living a lifestyle. You gotta be secure. You gotta be safe. You gotta be comfortable. Right? So what is the purpose of wealth? Security. Resources. To provide in those ways. So you can't overshadow money because we live in a society that in order to have the things that are necessities, it requires money.
Well,
but it is overshadowed.
I was gonna say, when you say necessities, right? You got luxury and wants over necessities.
Right.
Only thing we need is food.
But we didn't talk about luxury. We said security.
I said wealth.
But you said
no.
wealth.
I said what's the purpose of wealth is to provide the security. Security is the foundation of what I'm talking about. But I'm saying how to get it.
You don't need wealth.
No, you need a certain level of wealth to provide security.
Right, but that's
because again, it's more secure living.
Wealth is past rich.
Well, again, I'm using a broad term because security at its highest level. I'm not going to talk about security moving from Dixwell Avenue to Shepherd Avenue and Hampton. That's not. It's still it's safer over there, but it's not security.
But that's what you're saying is my exact issue. Mm-hmm. Moving from Dixwell Avenue to wherever you said Shepherd.
When any street other than the main street that you can get killed on.
We're only talking about money, and that's the problem.
No, we're not. We're
talking
about
that's what I'm saying.
The ability. Some people only have a choice to live on Dixwell Avenue, and their kids are out playing on a dangerous street.
All right.
Well, maybe that, like you said, the second thing, security and then resources. Mm-hmm. They may not have the resources to elevate to the wealth.
Okay. Right, but listen,
but that's what we're talking about.
And also security comes with. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? As long as my children have food in their stomach, a roof over their head, and clothes on their backs, are my wife and children not secure?
No.
Why not?
Because again, you could live in a dangerous neighborhood with that.
Right, but look,
you could live in the suburbs.
No. But okay, we're talking about statistics. We're not just talking about hypothetical here. Hypothetically, somebody can go into a suburbs and do something. But it happens every single day in the hood. Right. It happens every day in the hood. If you drive a BS car, you have more likely chances that you're going to break down on the highway and your wife is going to be in a dangerous situation. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So again, people got the wrong idea about money. See, people have been taught that money is bad, but it really depends on the person what you're using it for. So when we start demonizing wealth or money, saying it's all about money, no, it depends what you use it for. It really just depends. So if I'm using my resources to take my family out of a place that's dangerous and put them in a better place, my My kids only go to private school, so I'm giving my kids a better opportunity. Okay, well, food, clothes, that's the bottom line of anything. But at the same time, that's
parent.
Yeah, and it's also being a slave too, because that's the only thing a slave has to have is food, shelter, and clothes. That's it. That's all a slave. That's all a slave. That's
not
all
a slave. You're still.
I'm about to say.
No. I didn't say.
Like,
You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not listening.
I'm a very literal thinker.
Well, then literal
You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that
literally-
being a slave, they had the option of going wherever they
Listen to
want
what I'm
and out of
saying.
their house.
Listen
It's
to
not
what I'm
the same,
saying. Listen
bro.
to what I'm saying.
It's really not
You
the
took
same.
what I said and you.
I didn't mix it.
No.
I took what exactly your words, and that's what I do.
You took my words and you said that don't mean that, and I never said it did mean that.
You said it's the same thing. A slave. You said a slave has what? Food, shelter.
I said no. That's not what I said. I'm gonna repeat it, and it's
After slaves.
I'm gonna repeat it. I'm going to repeat it, and then I'm gonna let you respond after I repeat. How about that?
Let's get it.
Okay. I said when you tell somebody that the only thing somebody needs is food, clothes, and shelter, those are the basic necessities. Those are the only necessities that someone will give a slave. Think about it. A master who owns slave, the only thing he is responsible for giving that slave is food, clothing, and shelter. That's it.
But-
That's a fact.
So
You can't
so
dispute
let me
that.
ask you a question. What's the point of saying that?
That's a good question. Let me answer that. No, don't tell me what I'm basically saying. You asked the question.
But let me say what I want to say.
You asked the question.
You
So
can
let me answer
you
it.
can tell me no, that's not what I'm trying to say.
But why would you put words in my mouth rather than let
Because
me just?
you did it to him. He said food, shelter, and
put words in
water,
his mouth.
and you said
I
that
didn't
it's a
put it-
slave
I
mentality,
didn't-
basically.
That's not what I said. Basically, I said
You
exactly.
basically put words in his mouth. And it's a fact that if you're not providing food, shelter,
We can
and
move
clothing
on.
for your
We can
children,
move on and on and on, or I can get to my point. We can
You know what I'm saying?
move on and on and on, or I can get to my
I'm
point.
just saying.
We can move on and on, or I can get to my point. So my point is this right here. So when we're talking about providing the basic necessities, no one wants just basic necessities. You don't want just basic necessities. You don't want basic necessities.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
take
I was gonna say-
that.
Okay, so
Okay,
the reason why I don't,
basic
because you don't have basic necessities.
I actually do.
No, you don't. You have more than basic. Is a car a necessity?
Yes.
It's not a basic
It's
necessity.
a
Food,
form of
clothing, and
transportation.
It's
in those three things, did we mention cars?
No, but you said it, bro.
I said what?
If you need a car, you need a car.
No, but I'm going by what you said.
Because if you
The
take
basic
a Uber,
necessities.
that's a car.
I'm going by what he
What?
said. Basic necessities: food, clothing, and shelter.
So
So
wait, listen.
in
listen.
your definition of basic necessities,
So in order for me to get food, I need a car.
that's not true. You can walk. You can take the bus. You can take a
Or
Uber.
some form of transportation.
Okay, but a car is not a basic necessity because you have other options. Food is not you don't have other options in food. You don't have other options in shelter. You don't have other options than clothing. Those are basic necessities. We're going with the literal term, like you said, basic necessities.
But why-
If you have other options, then it's not basic.
Well, why would that be a slave mindset?
I didn't say, he said mindset. I didn't say mindset.
Well,
I
it's
said-
all- we know what we're talking about.
Right.
Okay, but he said it, so I can't answer that question because he said you asked him that question.
But why? All right. So why did you say it's slave?
I said,
Slave, however you say.
again, I said it. I'll say it again. I said,
Oh, you said that's basically what they
I said
gave
that's
the
the
slaves to.
minimum that a slave will get, and that's not what we want today.
All right. So let me ask you a question. If that's the minimum of what a slave would
It's not if that is.
No. All right. Well, that's what I'm saying. If that's the minimum,
It's not if, it is.
do you think people that have those three things and only those three things are slaves?
I never said that.
I'm asking you.
No. Why would I say
But
that?
that's my point. What is the point of bringing it up?
Because
if you
I'm
never
gonna tell
said
because
it?
it's a scale.
Is anybody slaves that have just those three things?
No.
So it doesn't matter in this conversation.
It does matter.
You're basically saying any. So you're
I'm
basically
not
saying
basically
that
I can tell you
everybody that
exactly what I'm saying. Why are you telling me what I'm basically saying? What I'm
because
telling
you did this, bro. You literally did it first out of everybody.
No.
You told him what he was saying.
When did I do that?
And then he told us
Oh,
what we
goodness.
wanted.
No,
Right,
no,
like,
no,
you
look.
can't-
When I
that's
said okay, so
contradictory.
you only want basic necessities.
It's not that I want only basic necessities.
So you
but
don't
what if
want-
a person doesn't have the capability
We're not
to
talking about
achieve
person.
other
We're talking about people in here. I didn't say everybody. I said you don't want basic necessities. Now, if you say yes, I do.
Basic
So if you
necessities are
say
you
so
said clothing,
if you say you
shelter,
do,
and what was the other thing? Food.
so if you say you do,
But
then
you need them.
Right.
They're necessities.
Right.
It's not necessarily
No.
basic.
watch this right
So is everything else a want?
Right.
outside of those?
I'm going by your.
I'm
I don't know. You said you brought up.
All right,
basic
so then I'm
necessities.
saying-
So you
so
said
then
the
I'm
only
saying-
thing I have to give my kids is a food, shelter, and clothing.
But that's children.
Right. But,
Even
but,
still.
but the point of what I said that was,
Because wealth came into it. So wealth is the factor in why we're talking about this. So
But
any
everything is-
any level of wealth that you're gonna get, you're gonna go past basic necessities.
okay, but
Is that fair?
what I'm saying is that is all determined by society and how we are influenced of what wealth could be.
Right. Because what's the category of wealth? It looks different for everybody else.
Exactly.
It's
So we're
different.
only talking about what we're talking about. We're not talking about where it's different. We're talking about as it relates to basic necessities. So again, wealth can be $500 for a person who has pennies, and their expenses are dollars. You see what I'm saying? So you taking the word wealth, and we're talking about you thinking rich wealth. Wealth is a certain amount. Wealth can be determined in other
Instead of
things than
saying
money.
wealth, I mean, I'm not thinking rich. I'm thinking more so income.
Okay.
Like, what is the income based off of the resources that you have? Because you can't expect somebody who, like you said, lives on Dixwell or maybe on Section 8 to have the same basic necessities as somebody
Right.
that lives somewhere else.
If I own an acre of land, is that wealthy?
I don't know. I don't define wealth for you. That's up to you.
Well, you just got.
He just told us what.
No, I said it.
You defined it as a slave.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I
You
said.
basically
Now
saying
you
we
saying
on the same
anything.
level as slaves.
That's not what I said.
All you need
That's
is
not what I said.
food.
I never. See now.
Well,
Now we're gonna rewind the tape because I never said that.
I know you never said it, but
So then, but
you're basic.
that's not.
You're put them on the same plane, and you put rich and wealthy on the same plane when it's not.
I didn't put that on the same page. I said
Wealthy
one-
is when you don't even have to think about the money.
I never said again. You got conceptions in your head. And
No,
you're taking
you
things
said-
that I'm saying, and you're automatically associating it with it without asking me what
But
I
you
mean.
also said
Ask me what I mean rather than tell me what I mean.
you also
You did the
said
same thing to us, and
What, to
now
you?
you're
No. What
contradicting.
did I do to you?
You tried to say
I didn't
what
try
it
to
is
say-
that you think I need
No.
as a basic
Okay,
necessity.
let's unpack that right there. Let's unpack that right there. I said you want more than basic necessities. Now, before you say anything, do you want more than basic necessities?
You can't
I didn't
ask
ask-
two questions
No.
back to back.
I only asked one question. I said,
You said-
I said, do you want basic necessities? More than basic necessities? That's the only question I
But
asked.
even if she wants, even if I want it,
Excuse me.
even if I want it,
I
I may
asked-
not need it.
That's not what I asked though. I'm asking a
But
simple question.
You're saying
Do
it
you
in
want
a,
more than basic necessities? It's yes or no.
it's not about it being a yes or no. It's about the fact of whether or not a person has the resources
That's not
to achieve
true.
more.
It's not true.
Like
Somebody
you
want-
said,
somebody-
everybody's basic necessities.
You don't want to
is
answer the
different.
question. In other words, it's a simple question. You don't want to
Neither
answer.
do you.
What questions did you ask me that I didn't answer?
I haven't had
All right,
the
let's
opportunity to
move on.
ask.
So then
We're
how
gonna
are you
be here
telling me?
forever.
How are you telling me that I'm not
Next
answering the
question.
questions if you haven't asked the question? Now you're saying anything.
I'm not saying that.
If you said that I haven't answered the question, then you haven't answered the question. You haven't asked the question. How can I not answer the question that you answered?
Okay, well, you are
let's
categorizing
leave it there
things
so we
as-
can move on.
Let's go. We still let's go. I'm just saying.
Say it.
You, not you. I'm just saying. You can't just put words in my mouth.
All right,
like
so
that.
we outside right now.
Water break.
So should the guy, or let's say, should the woman still be required to pay all the bills she acquired? Say like, well, condo's kind of different
Because it's
like
a
insurances,
thing.
you kind of bring them together once you
Merge.
you know, it actually helps you. I don't know what bills I would probably put that under, but there are certain things out there that they come to you with,
Right.
that are not like bills that you automatically merge together.
Right.
That's basically what I'm asking. Should she still, or would your person still pay their bills, or would you still pay your bills?
I would say yes. I would want to pay my own bills. I mean, at least in my household, the bills that I came into, my relationship, marriage, I'm still paying for it. You know what I mean? Because that's my choice.
I would say like at least until they expire.
Right. If that, but we're joint. You know what I'm saying? Like my money's her money's my money. We've always done it that way to where we look out for each other. And for instance, right? If I,
I'm like,
look
good thing it was
dangerous.
him and
it,
not
it,
me.
it was red,
It was
red and black.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be out.
For instance, right, if I apply for a grant, right, my position is different from hers, so I would get more money, but it wouldn't matter because we're married. So if I got 12 and she got 6, we got 18 together. You know what I'm saying? So
Let me stop you right there. What do you think about that? Saying, so basically, so say if your wife makes 100, for easy numbers, 100, you make 100. Would you want to make it harder on yourself? Say if you need to get a loan, right? And you need to get a $200,000 loan. Or say a house is $200,000, you need a $20,000 loan. And you don't have the 20, but you got to get it. She has 10, you have 10. Would you take your money and put it together? Or would you say, nah, I'm going to give this to you? I'm going to be and I'm trying to say that because how you said, you know, she got. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for this.
It's a formality.
Just for a moment.
I'm going to cut it. Well, for your live, I'm going to cut it.
Apparently something.
I forgot we right by the way.
Yeah.
It's a fire station.
The sun is like, man.
That's not getting good.
Hopefully it makes me look
That's why I keep
angelic.
getting up.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to be. It's already a good episode.
Yeah, we got to start arguing.
Right, we should start. We got it. But the audio is perfect. The audio is perfect. The audio is perfect.
That's what I'm at.
All right. So back, you want to reiterate the question?
I turned BBs down.
You want to reiterate the question so we can?
So if you were trying to get a house,
Yep.
let's not even do however much you make. 'Cause
Right.
if you're trying to get a house, you need to get a $20,000. You need to get approved.
Mhm.
They say you need 20,000 down.
Mhm.
You got 10. Your wife got 10. But would you say? I'm gonna say it like this: would you ask her for the 10, or would you just say, "Nah, I'm gonna just get the 10"? Or because I wanna.
It's a balance question.
Because
She
I don't want to
can
ask
answer this.
I don't want to ask too many questions, but I want two different scenarios.
I got you.
That one is she don't know. You just trying to get a house.
Yeah.
Because that happened with my wife.
Mhm.
She didn't really care for the process, but I knew how much I needed,
Mhm.
and I went and got it. But I had it, so it's different. I had it. So second part to that, if she knew how much was needed and she had it, and she said, "Hey, I got this. Would you take it or no?"
Okay, that's a good question. That's actually a really, really good question.
Yeah.
But I have to preface it with this. And this is where I think the problem went on the last question. I'm going from a mindset overall, from partly experience and partly from looking at data over the last few years and seeing the problems that we're having in relationships. So one thing is,
Let's say it's a single family house though,
Single
not a multi-family.
okay.
No investment.
Yeah. No,
No
okay.
investment.
Yeah, that's
No
cool.
making money
That's
on
cool.
it.
Yeah, it's a house. So again, as a man, my responsibility, I believe, personally to me, is to be the provider. I do not want my wife to have stress. Same thing as you said. She didn't want to go through the process.
Right.
Why? Because some women, I dare say most women, are not equipped for certain types of stress.
I agree.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. This is my standpoint. Because my whole thing is to protect her. And protection comes in so many other ways
Right.
than just physical. Protect her from, so that she doesn't have to come out of her feminine and be something that she's not comfortable being. Now, any woman, I said this to my wife earlier, any woman can carry these 2 laundry bags. You can pick them up.
Right.
But how long can you hold them? And how far can you take them up the stairs to where they belong? I can pick these up, I got it. No, but on the way up there, your fingers are gonna start to slip. Your hands are gonna get tired. Your shoulder, now you're walking, you're starting to sweat. Men are built to handle those stresses. Now, for a one-time deal where it doesn't require any thinking or she doesn't have to go get it, yes. If she knew about it and she said, "Babe, I got this," okay, cool. So then now it takes stress off of the whole family. But if she doesn't know, and there's a reason why she doesn't know, because I'm deciding to do something for the family, It's my responsibility to go get it.
Gotcha.
You good?
I'm gonna push back on that, but I want to get there.
Yeah.
I agree.
But you have to push back.
It's certain things I want to push back.
Just one thing to push back on.
But let's just go around.
The
The scenario, basically, would you?
and the answer is based off of my marriage or just
Yeah, your marriage. How you feel about this? All of this is based off how you feel.
I can tell you right now, if I was trying, first of all, my wife would be like, she's like very hands-on when it comes to all the paperwork and stuff. Like, I mean, she's the one that I just give her the money, she pays the bills, you know, she sets up all the different accounts and stuff like that. Whereas I am going out to get the big money, she's my grant writer. I tell her what to put in the grant. She you know, organize it to how the grantees want to see it. So when it comes to us trying to get a house, if I have 10 and I know she has 10, you know, I was a hustler and still am. So my mom said, look, we need to get this house. You got 10, I got 10. Do you have any plans with your 10? If she says, yeah, I have plans with my 10, I need to know if the 10 you have, the plans you have for the 10, if it's going to benefit the family.
I got to push back on that.
Right now,
There's a contradiction in this statement that you said. Earlier you said, my money is our money, her money is our money. So there's no reason for her to have plans with her 10,000 because it's not her 10,000, it's your 10,000.
Right. But I was answering the question as if.
So that means if it's your money together, then you say, bang, give me the 10,000 in your account. Period. It's ours.
Right. But that's what I originally said. But what I'm saying is, I'm giving another perspective of, because he asked a few questions. He asked two questions. So I'm giving a perspective. He said, what if she didn't know?
Either way, it's still my money.
No, but she asked,
you said
her money is my money, my money is her money.
Okay, so it's my money.
I agree with that.
I don't have to ask for mine.
But now, if my wife has a plan that she didn't tell me,
that's crazy.
That's where communication comes in.
Right.
How did she have a plan with our money that she didn't tell?
Well, we're talking scenarios right now.
What happens?
I know.
We're talking scenarios, right?
Right.
So if the scenario is we're constantly thinking about growing. She might have thought about a plan that she didn't get a chance to tell me. I might have thought about something I didn't get a chance to tell her. But eventually we're gonna come together where I might be like, babe, I just saw this food truck. She's like, dang, yo, I just saw a car. And now we like, all right, well, let's price out together rather than I don't make a decision unless I know it's going to benefit the household. Then I will be like, look, I just went and bought this horse.
I got a question for you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got a question for you.
Cards is out.
I got a question. This is the controversy you need, right? I got a question for you. So when it comes to the final decision, whether she agree or she don't agree, do you talk it out and y'all both have to agree, or do you make the final decision based on what you believe?
As the man of my household, I make the final decision as what I believe.
So then in that being said, then it's not about whether she got something to do with this. If you're buying a house, that's a big purchase, not a food cart, it's not something. So then there's no reason for you to have to even clear it with her. You tell her about it. I don't have to ask to see if she might have something to do with it. This is something for both of us. I'm not doing something.
So just believe in that.
So just
that's control shit.
No, it's not control.
No, it is. You can't just say, as the man of the house, I have the final say.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. He said that.
No, you just said that, bro.
I asked him, and he said I had the final say.
So what do you agree with?
Whoa, no, let me ask you. No, you're not gonna put this on me.
I'm asking you, so you asking you, so I'm gonna ask.
Give me the
opportunity. When I
opportunity.
say the final decision, let me explain, because you asked me a question.
And you answered it.
Wait.
And I feel like you asking that question because you had your own answer.
That's not true.
But listen, when I say the final decision, it has to be based on if it's going to be beneficial for the household, because most women act off emotion. Most men act logically. That's a fact. So the thing that you're accusing me of, he's actually right. We get that.
But y'all not really saying who decides what's beneficial.
The person who's in charge.
Who's in charge?
It depends on the relationship.
What do you mean? It depends.
Okay, who's in charge of your household?
we're both in charge.
Okay, watch this right here. So,
It doesn't
okay,
look like
okay, that's
we're
fine.
both make
You
50-50
said that. You said that already. So let me go to my point. I asked the question. Let me move on.
Or I can answer it a little better for you.
Okay, that's cool. But
When
you
it
already
comes
said
to-
we're both in charge. Okay,
No,
so
I want to specify on houses. When it comes to like investing and stuff like that, that's all me. When it comes to
again, so
when
then
it
you
comes
have
to
the
my-
ability to make the last decision.
It
Then
comes on, like, based
She,
on what
well,
you
that's the
said.
thing. She's remember when I said
you can't have it both ways.
no. I'm
bro.
trying to. I'm not saying she's gonna make it. I'm trying to
You
explain.
said
to you.
50-50, then you said when it comes to investment,
I'm
you make the
trying to-
final
no, I'm
decision.
trying to
and this is what
specify
we're
on what
talking
we're
about
talking
is
about.
an investment. So you make the final decision.
Investment, but you said I have the final decision. I'm telling you why. The reason is because she doesn't do it.
That's fine. That's fine. But
That's
I
why-
only asked
I
did you? I
said-
didn't ask why.
But that's why I said let's take investments out of it.
Well,
Because
a
who
home
has
is-
that
A
decision?
home is an investment either way.
It's not an investment unless you're selling it.
Yeah, that's true.
Most people that get that house,
that
if
type
that's,
of
if that's their house, that's their house. It's not
Okay.
an investment, bro. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
not.
I know,
It's
I know,
really
I
a
know,
money
I know a
deal,
house
right?
is not an investment.
You know what
I'm an investment banker. I know that.
I
But
mean,
I'm
that's
saying
what I'm
for the sense of a general sense.
I don't want to.
You don't have to. That's cool.
Single family, you can
Done,
invest
done.
if
I
you
get
got
it.
somebody
I
else.
get it. Done. We don't got to talk about it anymore. Yes, you're
That's
right.
what I'm asking.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, even if it's an investment or not, what I'm saying it's a significant purchase for the family. And all I asked was somebody has to have the last decision on whether they're going to do it because two people can disagree. So then we don't do this because two people don't disagree. There has to be.
Well, there has to be some type of balance. It can't just be one person making decisions for the whole collective.
And that's why I'm
When
asking
it's
what
a
makes
unit.
that decision.
A marriage is a unit.
well,
It's two
and
people
do
that
I-
come together.
Do I lead? Yes. But do I make all the decisions based off of me being the man of the household? No. But there is a structure of what I believe there as the man of my household, I discuss it with my wife.
Right.
Even sometimes when she says something and I can't see it, I gotta trust her to be like, all right, you know what? Let's just do it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta trust that you just my wife, you know, she's very good with money. She worked in, you know, banks and she understands it way better than I do. So she might look at it and be like, no, we need to do this with the money instead of that. Right?
But listen,
Did
let
you-
me,
Did you answer?
no.
Yeah.
So here's a perfect example because I actually went through this situation recently. My husband and I were actually going to purchase our home, but it didn't fall through because we did the inspection and we saw, you know, how those, like you end up finding about a bunch of stuff. And he is in finance, I'm not. So I allowed him to take the reins on it. But like you said, like we've all agreed, I think it is circumstantial. Like, yes, the person who has more knowledge and education on a specific thing should be like, hey, I know a little bit more about this, but let's converse and let's kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Because that's what ended up having to happen. I wanted the house, but he said, hey, this is not a good, you know, investment for us. We're going to end up dumping more money into it because we have to fix the roof. You know, there's termites and that's not what you want in a home, especially not your first home. So I was like, okay, I didn't know about that. You know, so ultimately I feel like when it comes to having a property per se, it should be based off of the person who has the more knowledge or who takes the time to do the research about it.
I agree on that.
All right.
That right there should be the logic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which is, I guess, the
It should be
50-50
that.
cut.
Well, let me say this right because I actually only interjected and my actual opinion on this is this right here. I'll go back to the name of the podcast. What's the name of the podcast? What's this episode called?
My house or not yours.
Okay, that's what it really boils down to.
Absolutely.
What? It's my house. Period. It's my house. So I make the decisions in my house. You do in your house, it's your house.
Right.
You agree, disagree?
Exactly.
But the bottom line is this right here. I make all decisions, final decisions, in between decisions. Now, as a woman, I want to ask you this. When you're looking for a man, are you looking for somebody that's okay? Just bear with me for a second. All right? Would you prefer your husband to be shorter than you or taller?
To me, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, but preference. It's better that he's taller?
Yeah, taller. Or
Do-
similar
okay,
height.
yeah, okay. Just bear with me. Something. You rather for him to be smarter than you, right?
No.
You want your husband to be less intelligent than you are.
Well, I think intelligence should be equal because I mean.
But
we
you
both-
prefer to be with somebody that's smarter, that can teach you something, that can help you evolve, that can help grow you, or
But
somebody who
doesn't
can
that go
help.
either way?
I asked you a question. I didn't say what he preferred. See, again, it's one question to you. So I'm just asking, would you prefer somebody that can lead you and make you better, or somebody who is just going to keep you at base level? It's a simple question.
I don't think
It's not a trap. It's not a
in
trap.
a relationship where it's necessarily.
Okay, so you can't answer the question. But my point is,
Right. I'm like,
no, but it's a normal question.
yeah, but
But it's not a
regardless
yes
of
or
being
no.
a question
It
or
is.
not, it's
I
not
don't
about.
I prefer to be in a room with people smarter than me. That's a yes or no
But
question.
that's people.
I know that,
But
But you're talking
but
about.
I can't say about a
relationship.
husband. I can't say about a husband, so I can't say that. So I'm only just saying
But
that,
the first thing out of your mouth was about the physical feature of the man.
that has nothing to do with this second question. Because again, I said bear with me, and I said I'm gonna put something together. So I just need to answer the question.
You
Yes or no?
said height and
Yes or no?
intellect.
Yes or no? But those two questions are separate. That's why I said bear with me.
Okay, so what was the follow-up from that?
I didn't get to answer the question.
So reiterate it so I can.
I just asked the question. Would you prefer a man that's taller than you or shorter than you?
Okay, so
Okay, would you prefer a man that's smarter than you or less?
I mean smarter. But
Okay. Would you prefer prefer a husband that has more resources? Prefer now. I didn't say this is what you're gonna get. I didn't say, but most women, I'll take it off of you now and go with my point. Most women will want a man that has better resources than them, right?
Resources like
yeah, I'm like, what-
Resources. So I'm taking it off of money.
Okay, so
Right.
now.
Just resources. To see people get caught with the word money. I say resources. My resources move past money. I can make phone calls and get stuff done. You see what I'm saying? My wife has provision outside of me. If she's on the street somewhere and somebody in my network sees her, has resources in that way. She'll go to certain places, certain business, and they go, oh, that's Smooth's wife? Oh, don't worry about it. So it's not about money, it's about resources in some cases. She can make a phone call and get what she needs based off of me. So that's what I'm talking about. A woman will want that type of situation where a guy has more resources, he has an outreach more than what she has. Because that's what most women want. That's the security of having a husband that can provide these things. So all I'm saying is this, right, my point. And when I say this, I'm going to jump right into the real point. Most women want somebody that's superior than them because it puts them in a safe place. And with that superiority, and I'm taking it off of you, so this is not personal to you.
I don't believe that.
Okay, you don't have to believe it. But
I just had to put that in.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm like,
well,
me neither, but
I said I'm taking it away.
Yeah,
I'm taking it away,
I wanna
and I'm
hear it.
putting it on me now.
Okay.
So either I'm that guy or I'm not that guy. So when I say this, my wife married me because I was that guy. And that's why she married me. All the things that I talked about, being smart, height was just something that I just threw out there, but having resources. So when it comes down to making real decisions, I've been making these real decisions my whole life without her. I got a track record of making real decisions. I brought myself to a point where she can look at me and go, wow, he's that guy. So now I'm not going to go back and forth in decision making about things that I've already made decisions about and I want.
But
Let me
Do
finish.
you
Let me
communicate with
finish.
her about what it is that you want and what you're going to do? Because
That's
there's
it.
a
That's
difference,
it.
right?
That's it.
There's
That's
a
it.
difference
That's
between
it. That's
doing
all I'm
it.
saying. That's the only point I'm bringing out. So then now, because I understand the emotional side of a woman when she feels left out, I will say, baby, this is what I'm going to do. What do you think? And ultimately, it's still going to be.
But why though?
Why? Because I want to hear what she thinks.
But
And
you
I want
said-
to.
but
you
you
said
say
no
you're
matter.
that.
He
But
said
you
he
say
makes
you're
the
that
final
guy.
decision.
I never said. Okay.
No, you say you're that guy.
You said that, and then you said.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
what
you said it didn't matter. I never said it didn't matter.
You
What?
did.
No.
You absolutely
He
did.
said he makes the final decision.
When did I say it don't
You
matter?
said you're that guy. You do this. You're
Yep,
and you're
yep,
basically saying
yep.
you're superior
Right.
over.
So apparently,
I'm not
the man
basically. I said
has to
she
be
wants
superior.
somebody that's superior.
No. You
I said she
said
wants somebody.
I want
you
equality.
you said women.
You don't. You want somebody.
You said
who's equal to
women
you?
want.
I want somebody who can contribute, and it should be like, okay, I'm elevated in this way, I can educate you here, and vice versa. It shouldn't be you're superior and I'm supposed to be inferior to
I
you.
never said that. The word of fear never came out of my mouth. So
Yeah, you said
assume-
superior. You
I
want
said-
someone superior.
I said you want someone superior.
That's not what
I
I
didn't
want.
say you did. I'm saying
But
most women.
That's
want
not what
someone-
most women want.
Well, that's not true because it's a fact. The word is called what is it called?
Hypothesis?
Hypigamy. What's the word?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It's women date up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They date up. That's a fact.
Most women date up only because of money.
Whether
Right.
for whatever reason,
You're talking
for
about
whatever reason, I'm just saying this
But
is
you
what they
can't say
do.
for
But
whatever
that's a
reason.
shallow.
No, no, no.
mindset,
In
though.
our hold on.
No, I can
In
say
our
for
day
whatever
and age
reason.
right now,
I can say for
women
whatever
only
reason because that's
consider
not my
somebody.
point.
Hold up. In our age right now,
Mhm.
women only consider somebody up when they have money. You can't talk about.
Well, then you speak.
You can't
you put
talk-
a blanket on all
I'm speaking
women.
for 2000. I'm speaking from 1990 to right now.
Why can't I speak for
You're
that?
speaking for the 1800s,
No,
bro.
no.
When I'm telling you right now,
have
you
a
can,
very
bro. You can
conservative,
literally
like,
go
I am
on.
conservative.
Hold on, let me speak.
like a
Because you
very
spoke for a
old
while. Hold on.
traditional.
I'm
You
a
spoke
old
for a
guy.
while. Hold on. The only people right now that consider men up and that's gonna give them that superiority is if their bank account can match it. And you know that they don't care about if you can invest because all these strippers and all these bottle girls right now, they get thousands and hundreds of thousands. They don't invest it.
Okay.
They don't go and they don't even stay with the guy that has the money.
It's sad.
They don't stay. Hold up. They don't stay with the person that has the money. They move on to the next person. So if you can find somebody that has $1 million in their bank account, but you find the next guy that has 2 million, but he's dumb as a fucking rock.
Right.
But the person that you found that has $1 million, you don't want to be with him because why? Nice guys finish last, and that's a fact.
That's a fact.
But
that's what I'm trying to say. Everything you
It's also a shallow mindset.
doesn't have to.
It's sad that you would take. It's sad that you would take a woman wanting somebody that's at a higher level than she is. as
Money
being-
puts them as a higher
Can I finish?
regardless.
You said that. You said that already. So can I respond to it? So what I'm saying is, I disagree with the fact that money puts a person at a higher status than somebody. Because again, I did my best to talk about resources.
Right. So
And that
Let me
doesn't
ask a
include
question.
money all the time.
let me ask you a question. Is knowing how to grow your own food a resource?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is knowing how to
Absolutely. No, knowledge is a resource.
okay.
Right.
So
Know how to build a house.
It's a resource. So we're not talking about money. So why you keep bringing it to money? I never mentioned the word money.
But we're talking about money.
I talked about
Yeah,
superiority.
but
We talking about money.
but
I gotta always
but
bring
in-
it back to
well,
because
you're
saying-
talking about money in a
I'm gonna
negative
get back
way,
to
though.
you.
You're talking about money in a negative way.
But this is what this is about.
But
This
it
is
doesn't-
about
but
money
it
in a
doesn't-
negative way.
It doesn't have to be negative though. If you
No, it
understand
is
money,
negative.
if you-
I only made this podcast, this episode, because this shit is negative. Everything about it is negative. So we have to talk
Okay,
about
so
it.
then
We have to talk about the fact that
let me ask you
you
this right
you
here.
only can say you can run your household
let me-
if you are paying the bills, which means
I didn't say
you
that.
have to have the money.
I didn't say that.
You only have to have the money to do anything. You can have the money. You can buy somebody, a guy that's smarter than you, that can tell you something that you think your wife knows more than you about. If you have the money, you can buy that. If you have the money, you can buy a chef. If you have the money, you can buy somebody that'll build you a house. It's all about the money, and women will not attract to a man that doesn't have the money.
Okay.
But that's the fact.
Okay.
You say
I didn't
it's
say that. I
negative.
didn't say that wasn't true.
No, you said that's sad. You said it's sad that I only
no,
did it that way.
that's not. I was
Bro.
trying to say this. Listen, I said it's sad that you would equate that to only money and bring in strippers and people that take advantage. See, so let me
Well,
just
that's
say,
a life.
I would
That's
say
a life.
that's shallow.
yeah, it's shallow. So,
Right.
so let me say this right here.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming.
Well, hold up.
If you
This
just-
is shallow
No,
too.
listen.
This is
I'm
shallow
assuming.
too.
I'm assuming everybody on this thing is on this panel is married, right?
Right.
I'm assuming that we're all good people. I'm not assuming a negative because who's out there? Are you married to a stripper?
No.
Are you dating a stripper?
Well, it's not negative
No, I
about
know.
being
No,
straight.
I didn't say that. I didn't
I'm
say
like,
it
hold
was.
up,
I didn't say that. But you said the stripper is going to do the negative thing.
Oh, I said
So
that because we
I'm-
got to talk to everybody.
I know that, but what I'm saying is it's about your choice of person now. So if you date somebody who's only there for the money, that is your choice. It's not everybody's not out there for the money.
That's the majority, bro.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm telling you. That's the majority.
And-
And that strokes a
and
guy's
why she's
ego
right here,
if he
and
can,
why she's right
if he can
There's
handle
a-
that.
He
Let's
knows
just say,
he's that guy.
let's just say there's a majority of people, women out there that's for the money. There's a majority. Then is there an equivalent majority of guys that's okay with giving them the money?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's not talk
Sugar
about.
daddies and
sugar
babies,
So
that's
then that means that there's somewhere in between of people who have money, and there's people who don't or see it as provision and being comfortable. So there's outer extremes to each point. So there's people taking advantage of it, and there's people that's comfortable in it.
Yeah, the majority is comfortable with if a nigga has all that money. I ain't even gonna say nigga. If a guy has all that money, this is what they want. there's people that do it in a classy way, like, yeah, I want you to take care of me, and they're doing it in a respectful way. Like, I feel like I
he said
deserve
before,
this.
like being a
Right.
provider for the household.
I feel
versus
like
being a gold digger.
right, and then you have the
I'm coming from a pure place. I'm not coming for trying to take advantage of you. I've got the somehow, some way, somebody says something like, you want to dominate your house, or you want, it's not no domination. It's
well,
not.
you say you make the last decision.
I do.
That's
Somebody has
dominating
to make the last decision.
So
If
why
she-
can't it be her?
Because she chose me to do it. That's why she married me.
But that's a totally
Again,
different
And
dynamic.
I said, I'm talking about my house.
But you made it an issue with the other scenarios.
Ask questions.
But everybody asks questions for a reason, bro. Let's be
because
real.
I wanted to know the same way you're asking questions that you want to know and you wanted to get out. So you assume that I'm having some type of intention on my questions when I'm trying to get an understanding of the people that I'm sitting on the panel with, so I can know where we're going with
So
this.
look, let me help you understand who I am, right? I'm all about self-sustainability.
Mhm.
You know,
Which is respectable.
Minimal luxury.
Only respectful.
This is
I'm gonna push back on you.
You said only respectable. What else could it be?
Committed.
That's
It could
great,
be
respect-
amazing, it could be.
Okay, but those are all adjectives.
What's the question you just asked?
no. I was
He was explaining his-
explaining
You messing up the stuff.
who I was as a individual and a husband.
And you said what you said. It was respectable.
He said
Oh,
that.
I said being
I'm
self-sustainable.
self-sustained.
So we gonna get back to your point, but I always gotta
He-
because I love where you come from.
Yeah.
Self-sustaining.
Uh-huh.
Is that enough? Is that where you're going with it?
Right,
Is that enough
right.
in a relationship? The food, the shelter, growing
So
your
on
own food.
which, okay.
Well, it depends on what he means by
Yeah, I was
self-sustained.
just about to ask.
So
that.
let's finish.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
I
right,
need
right.
specificity.
Yeah, because I could just say, yeah, that's enough. But then
Right.
he left out a major part. Or
Right. So when I say self-sustainability, right,
Mhm.
I grow my own food.
Mhm.
I raise my own chickens.
Mhm.
I make my own herbal medicine,
Mhm.
hair, skin, all that stuff,
Mhm.
right? I'm in, martial
Yeah.
arts, self-defense,
Yeah.
right?
Very important.
Very important. As well as being able to know how, because COVID taught me a lot. COVID changed the dynamic of what a household can even be right now.
Absolutely.
But a lot of households to the test.
Because it was like, where are we getting our food from?
Mhm.
Are we willing to stand in those lines? Dad, do we even want to leave the house? They're talking about curfews, all of this.
Mhm.
During that time, believe it or not, I have been a prepper for about 6-7 years now. I was pretty much situated. So this is self-sustainability. This is me having my basics, being able to have food, shelter, clothes on the back, right? There was a time where people didn't even want to drive or go anywhere because COVID kind of shook everything. And I had made a joke about, this was like right after COVID, and I did like a little video where I was acting like I'm in the club. I had a mask on. Yeah, we're in the club, club COVID, just playing because I know there was a group of people who couldn't wait until the clubs opened back up post-pandemic, right? So when I was talking about provisions, I'm talking about at the bare minimum, right? That's really the bare minimum because I gave somebody some medicine today. She was on her period, and I gave her some yarrow. I said, here, this will help with the cramps. This will help with to lessen the heavy flow. And she made a joke about it. Oh, I'm eating grass. But in your mind, you're not even realizing. I said, no, that's not grass. It's medicine. In my bare minimum, being self-sustainable, I feel that is provision for my household. And then I have a nonprofit, so the nonprofit is what brings in the finances to allow me to maybe even get some more land. That's when I said is an acre, permit or
And brother, can I address that real quick?
Yeah. So before you address it, we having a great conversation, but we ain't none of these questions. So
Yeah, that's cool.
after you do
Yeah.
that, let's just start
But
here.
yo, but see, okay, as much as y'all been pushing back on me, I agree with him 1,000%.
Right.
You know why? Because that is what it looks like. That's not 50-50. That's you taking responsibility and doing the work that matters.
Right.
Again, she could be like, hypothetically, she don't believe in COVID or she just has a different opinion about that.
Right.
It's, and what we know about COVID now, because again, during that time, husband and wife had different opinions about.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, so
Right.
but
We still got
but-
a different one right now.
but now that we know who was right and who was wrong, or who had a better insight on it, we'll say that his decision making could have been paramount. And it's not. It doesn't. You can't help me make this decision. I have to make this decision.
Right.
You knew deep down in your heart that was important.
Right.
It didn't matter what she said. No, don't get the land. No, don't grow your own food. You can't. It's no arguing with this. I gotta do this. Baby, trust me on this. You gotta make the last decision. Now, that's an example,
Right.
that you can pull through all major decisions throughout your relationship. And he, as the man, having a foresight and having the skill set to provide that, he needed to do that with or without her approval. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
I believe
Okay,
it's a
that's all I'm
decision.
saying.
But
That's all
I
I'm
don't think
saying.
you
the
could pull it
woman-
through every.
Right.
Well, no, I'm saying
Because
it
that was-
could
because
be.
COVID was a life
What I'm
and
saying
death
is it
thing.
could be pulled through every situation.
Not really.
It could be.
Because if we're talking about just buying a house,
No.
Let
Let me. Let
And what if the woman's
Let-
the one that has the more knowledge?
watch this right
and
here. Watch this
understanding
right
about
here.
it?
You gotta give
If you're talking about him making a decision, you
gotta
can
get-
pull it through. I get it.
Watch this. I'm gonna explain to you what I meant by that. This example can be pulled through any situation in your relationship. I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, it doesn't have to be life or death situation, because COVID wasn't life or death. It was pushed that it was life. It was pushed that it was life or death. But when you look at the real numbers,
Right.
and I'll leave it at that. When you look at the real numbers, it wasn't what they said it was. We all know that now. So, period. So, but it was something that was necessary for the family. And he needed to make that decision. There had to be one person, regardless of what the other person felt, to make that decision. And there will be other situations like that. Like, say, for instance, we talk about the house. We use that example. If I see a house, now I'll mix both. What if she has the insight? Well, if she has the insight, then she has to explain to him that insight. And a real man will understand that she has that insight, and he will make his decision based on that.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense. There's things that, when it comes to healing and that type of stuff,
Herbal,
she makes the
all that.
decisions on that.
Yeah.
Because she knows more about it.
But that's what I was saying with her and what you're saying. That's
Yeah,
logical.
she,
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's not draconian. It's not draconian. All hell. It's not that.
Right.
But I know where she picked somebody that she did not have to have the stress
Yep.
of making these decisions.
Gotcha.
Because she knows that I can make these decisions.
Because you have the
Because
resources
I'm equipped
and the knowledge.
to make. I'm capable. A woman wants a capable man. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So let me go to the next
That's
question.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. She wants a capable man, and whatever the capability at that time. Can't just be a nerd, just know all the books and know how to do this. I gotta be able to defend the family,
So, right.
self-defense.
Yeah,
I gotta know how to work a firearm.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta know all these other things that gives me a status in the house that's a little bit higher than her. Why? Let me just again.
I mean,
I'm speaking to my. I'm
It's
speaking
just
to
like
my.
your
I'm
household,
speaking
yes.
to
I hear
mine.
So let me
I'm
ask you a
speaking
question.
of
Hold on,
mine.
let me ask you, if you're going to speak to the masses of people, do you feel like it should be the same way?
I don't care what y'all do with yours.
Well, we gotta ask those questions. Because when I say
so let
something-
me give you my perspective then.
Well, let's
I'm
just get
going
these
to give you a different perspective than most people on this panel.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, so then there's people out there that think like me, and there's people that think like you. So I can't speak to everybody. I can only speak to the people that think like me, because there's a large contingency of people that don't agree with what you're saying. So you're not speaking to them.
Let's be real.
So let me speak to them.
If you go to a church, they want you to be saved. They want everybody to be saved. We don't say that's a problem. So what I'm saying is, give your opinion on on you. And all of us. I'm not just talking to you. Yeah. I'm just saying, give your opinion how you feel. But if I ask you, do you feel like everybody should feel that
Like
way?
a generic question.
You know what I mean? Because it'll kind of help us.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Because I
That's
feel
fair.
like
That's
you
fair.
do
That's
feel
fair.
that way.
That's, no,
You know what I mean?
I don't feel that way. This is what I feel. I feel whatever works for that person. And then this is the thing. It depends on what their goals are.
Right.
So let's just say, for instance, if we took a study of your marriage and my marriage, and we had enough data in your marriage too, and we had enough data to see how it turns out or how it's going.
Right.
There's some people like, I don't want that. They're like, I can't stand bugs, so we're not gonna be outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then there's gonna be like, well, he's successful, his wife is this, is that, is this, maybe that might work for me. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what your goals are. See, me, I believe that anything and everything you do is a sacrifice. I believe 50-50 is a sacrifice. I believe if you're asking your wife or girlfriend to go 50-50 with you, there's a book called Superior Man. It's written by David Dietrich. And the book says that if you ask your wife for too many things, you get too little of anything. Meaning that if you want her to be all these things.
So that's not reciprocated?
I'm talking about what the book says.
I know.
And I'm gonna explain to you whether it's reciprocated or not. But if I'm asking her to help provide, I'm asking her to take care of the kids, I'm asking her to do this, I'm asking her to do that and do that. Or this is basically, I'm asking her to do the basic stuff that women do and to do the stuff that men do. How?
What did women do? Men do?
I gotta ask that question.
Okay, because there are things that men do, and there's all things that women do.
So so men only pay the bill?
I didn't say that.
I'm asking you.
Okay, I'm gonna
Are women
explain it.
only supposed to cook?
I didn't say that.
Are women also?
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I didn't say none of that. Because guess what? Who does all the cooking in our house? Okay, so stop. So just stop. Stop with the trying to
I'm a
paint the
chef.
picture.
I'm
Trying to
just
stop.
asking.
Stop.
I think it's right.
But you never gave me a chance to explain
You
it.
said there's certain things that
Exactly.
Right,
But then you started. And then you start putting things out there as if that's what I was talking about. So why don't you just let me?
Because you said when
You asked the question and never let me answer it. You start saying, what about this? What about that? What about this? And I ain't say none of that.
Because
Why
I
don't
can
you just wait for me to just say it?
I can guarantee you I already know the answer.
Right.
If you knew the answer,
If I'm
you would have
wrong,
said
I'm
it.
wrong. But
If you
I'm
knew
gonna
the-
assume.
I'm curious. I'll say I'm
Okay.
curious.
Okay, so watch this right here.
So what are the things that women do?
Okay.
Only women.
I didn't say that. I didn't say only women.
Well, women do.
There's certain things
Women.
there's certain things that
What is
women
it?
do and there's certain things that men do.
Like what?
I'm about to. Okay,
Let's go women only.
women. Okay. Well, in any relationship, there's things that men and women do. In other words, depending on the situation. So there are men that stay at home and watch their kids, but the majority of
No, bro.
let me
listening, bro.
can I talk, bro?
That's you not answering my question.
I am answering, maybe not the way you want me to answer it.
What you just said what men do.
Yeah,
I said
because
what is
the
it
first
that-
thing that I said when I answered the question was, does men do that too?
No.
So I'm getting
What
that off
is
the
it?
top.
What is it that
Women are the
what
primary
is women
caretakers.
expected to do with their check?
Women,
Let's go there.
what are women? Well, personally, me, to do whatever she wants to do with her check.
And that's you said that 50-50 is a what? You said
It's a risk.
it's a risk.
I didn't say that.
Same shit like
I didn't say that.
what was the word?
You said it's a
Sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Well, actually, no. When you DM me, you said saying that a
Yeah, I
woman
need to elaborate.
saying that a woman can do whatever with her check is the worst thing you can ever say. That's basically setting you up for like a COVID situation where if you stop working, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying if you stop working
Let's look at it this way.
and the savings ain't where it need to be,
Then who's
if your
responsible for that?
your saving runs
Who's
out,
who's responsible for that?
what? It should be the woman. If you telling her she can do whatever she,
Okay.
let me talk. Hold up. If you're telling her
Uh-huh.
she can do whatever it is she want with her check,
Uh-huh.
right? COVID hit.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was effed up.
Yeah.
You run your savings out. I'm not saying you.
Not
I'm just
everybody.
saying it happened.
You said everybody.
Grant Cardone, billionaire, he laying firing people. He can't afford it.
Okay.
So to say that somebody
Everybody
don't
took
have
something.
money for a rainy day because they can just blow a check is the craziest
I never
thing.
said that.
That's the worst thing you can ever put on
So you're gonna let
somebody
me explain?
because now you're teaching somebody that they don't have to be responsible.
You gonna
And
let me
then if
explain
you're
it?
the person that's home with the kids,
You gonna let me explain
they're
it?
teaching the kids that they don't have to be responsible. And then that creates a disaster because when they grow up, they don't know no financial responsibility.
You gonna let me
They
explain
don't know any educational responsibility. They don't know how to grow anything because all they feel like is
Somebody
the
gonna
world-
take care of me.
somebody gonna take care of me. In the world, you can do whatever you want.
All right. Well, again,
That's crazy.
that's your perspective, and that's not. By the
No,
way,
that's an actual fact.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is fact, bro.
Okay, but
That's not a perspective. That's fact.
okay.
We can't say
Okay.
we cannot say that's a
Well,
perspective.
here's
That's
the
a
thing.
fact.
Based off of what I said, that's your perspective. That's not what I said.
But that's a fact.
Okay. Well, anyway, can I
Go ahead,
continue?
yeah.
All right. So you asked me a question. You said, "What do I expect her to do
Yeah.
with her check?"
What is a woman expected to do with her check?
And I said, "Anything she wants to do." Right? Now you immediately spent the last 5 minutes going all this without saying, "Well, what do you mean by that, TW?"
Well, whatever she wants is whatever she
No.
wants. Whatever she wants is whatever she
But
wants.
so can I talk now?
That's not saying
Can I talk?
whatever she wants.
Can I talk?
Well, you said something, so I'm answering you.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Okay.
But every time
So,
you try to say
just
something that I
because-
didn't
just
say,
be-
I'm gonna
You
interject.
did say that.
No, you said whatever she wants. So that's not what you want. That's what she wants. You're about to try to.
How do you
explain-
know? How do you
I
know?
guarantee
How do you
bro,
know she?
Now
No,
you're
how
about
do
to
you
try
know
to
that she
switch it,
don't?
but I guarantee
No, I'm not trying to
that you're
switch
about
nothing.
to try to say something different because whatever she wants, you don't even know
what I understand what you're saying. She chose to say her money is your money, right?
Okay.
She chose that. So that's an agreement that y'all made from the start. I chose to say, and we both chose that her money, she can do what she want to do with it. Now she can choose to do things that benefit the family with her money, but it's not necessary. That's up to her. Now to go back to the point where you said COVID hit and all these different things, okay, granted, some people are in that situation where they need two incomes to survive, and I get that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not saying they're lesser or anything like that. And some people are in positions that their one income can provide for them, their family, and everybody else. And I'm not saying that person is better. But what I am saying is this right here. And I'm speaking to the young men out here, specifically to them, that if you want a relationship that's sustainable, you want to give your woman the option. Because it means, I'm going to say this, give me a minute and 30 seconds without being interrupted.
I'm just listening.
No, watch this right here. If we go 50-50, right?
Yep.
What is the maximum that a woman is usually comfortable with in a relationship? Is it?
Wait, what do you mean?
Is it 80-20? Is a woman usually comfortable with that? Most cases, no. No woman wants to carry her man 80%, right? Okay.
We're talking financial.
Financially,
Okay, yeah.
financially. Most women don't want to carry, even emotionally.
Right.
Well, the reason why
I'm saying most women
Right,
don't
but
want to carry a man emotionally. No woman wants an emotional guy that she got to carry every time. So, baby, for 80% of the time, right?
Wait, what do you mean by carry?
because
We talking about just financial?
Well, they asked that question, and I'm saying other areas as well, financially and in other areas.
because in marriages, I feel like some days I may be 100 on,
Absolutely,
right?
right.
Some days she
No, but
may
y'all
be.
talking about the wrong stuff.
But why should
We're talking about money.
Okay, so they brought the
Y'all
money.
talking about
So let me
emotion.
finish. So
When we say 80-20, I ain't talking about
I get that.
emotion. I'm
So let
talking about money.
So let me get back to it. They asked that question. So what I'm saying is, my point is this right here. Most men would be okay with a 50-50. Because it sounds fair, right? Yeah, we go 50-50. Sounds fair, right? It's two people, 50-50. There's women that 50-50, no big deal. But watch the scale now. How many men would be okay with 60-40? Most men like, all right, that's no big deal.
Men
60,
Okay.
women 40. No big deal. How many women would want to be I'm sorry. Back up, I'm sorry. I did it wrong. How many men would be okay with 40 for them, 60 for the woman? Most guys like, shoot, all right, whatever. So a woman is going 60-40. How many women would want to do that? I would say it will be less than 50-50. And as we go through this scale this way, less women will be willing to provide more. But if we go the other way, there are more men that would go 60 for them, 40 for the woman, 70 for them, 30 for the woman, all the way up to 20, and even some will be willing to do 100%. So my point, my point, and this is what I said, I need a minute and a half to make this point. 50-50 is usually a max number for a woman and the minimum for a man. So what I'm doing by asking my woman to go 50-50 is I'm maxing her out in what she's willing to provide in a relationship. Let me finish.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, I'm maxing her out in the relationship when I am not even at my max. And I'll give one more analogy to explain what I mean. If I'm selling a car, I'm the seller, you're the buyer. My bottom price is this, and your top price is this. If we agree on your top price, and I agree on my bottom price, neither one of us are happy. That's all I'm saying. So in order to have real balance, you want both parties to be happy. And a woman is being maxed out of what she's providing when if most cases she would be better off in her femininity, not having to worry about the stress of providing, having the option to actually say, you know, babe, if you need this, I have it, versus I have to do this. You know what I mean? Jobs I told my wife to quit because it wasn't a situation. Like, no, it's not conducive to your mental health. Leave. Before we were married, we were barely dating. She got into a situation. Quit the job, come work for me. Because I didn't want her stressed out. I don't want a woman in a hustle and bustle world dealing with all the stresses of the world. I need her to be here with me mentally, physically, and emotionally. And it doesn't allow that for a woman that's dealing with stress on a day-to-day basis. That's my opinion.
But what about the average family though? Because average families are living paycheck to paycheck.
Okay,
You know what I'm
that's a
saying?
good. That's a
They
good.
don't
That's a
have
good.
that accessibility to say, just quit your job. You know,
No, you're right. You're
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
And after he asked that question, I'm going to get back to that. That is a valid point, and I got a solution for that too.
You said that you're maxing a woman out on 50-50.
I didn't.
You did. You
No,
said
no. I said that is her max. That's
No,
her
you said you're
max.
maxing her out, bro. You said
That's usually her max. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Go ahead.
that math is all off. 50-50. Before she met you, if she's paying her own rent, it's not maxing her out. Because good chances are, say the rent is $1,200 at her home, y'all get one, the rent is $1,200, you're actually helping her out. She's helping you out. It's not maxing nothing. That's one.
Okay. So can I just address that real quick? Well, when I say maxing her out, I'm not talking about maxing her out money-wise. I'm talking about, let me finish, bro. Let me finish. I'm talking about.
You're screwing up my point.
I'm not.
And that's what
I'm not
talking about money.
Let me finish, bro. Yo, I'm saying what she's willing to contribute in the relationship. If you ask 100 women in a relationship, getting into a relationship, how much of the responsibility, financial responsibility, would you be willing to do? Most women will not say 50-50. And most women, if they have to do 50-50, they will. But most women will say, well, I would want to do about 30%. That's average. And this woman is saying that she's agreeing with it. So this is what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. No, it does make sense. She just agreed with me.
That's fine. But you said,
listen,
you just said we're not talking about money, and I told you everything we're talking about right now is money.
And I'm talking about money now.
It's the math.
I'm talking about money.
You said if the rent is $1,200, let's just stick to the freaking topic. If the rent is $1,200, no, because you said I wasn't talking about finances.
Yeah, but we're talking about
but
it
we're
now.
talking about finances.
70%. How much of the finances are?
Listen,
How much?
Simple.
Most women would want to give about 30% of the responsibility of the finances in a relationship, right? That's what you say. You agree with that, right?
I'm just going off what you said.
But I'm going off what she said, and that's what we're talking about now.
No, you can't deflect.
Bro,
leave her out of it right now.
If you want to talk about something other than finances.
You said the rent is $1,200. You said it out your own mouth. I don't want to max her out. We're talking about finances.
Yes.
If it's $1,200, you get into a relationship. 600. We're talking about 50-50. 600. Let's not talk about the other bills.
Okay.
That's not a max. Nowhere.
Okay.
You're actually relieving her.
It's actually a relief.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about finances.
Okay. And that's what I'm talking about.
No, you said we weren't.
So
would
would
you
you now come in?
Back, I'm gonna
Look, so now would you come in and say, all right, I'm now going to take over the rent. You don't have to pay the $1,200.
Well, first of all, she will be moving into my place that I'm already paying the rent.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm already paying.
So, but I think in this scenario, you would be moving.
We're talking about getting one together.
Right.
Okay.
So let's say you move y'all both move out of your place
and y'all
you get together and you find a house or an apartment.
And then I will buy something that I can afford. And I'm gonna tell you why I would afford it. For if the COVID situation happened, so now watch this right here. Remember the situation I said I was gonna get back to you with? Okay. Most people can't afford it. I don't believe they can't afford it. I believe they just haven't set it up that way. And normally it's not a money problem when it comes to people, it's a discipline problem. So let's just say, for instance, the man is on his own. He's paying, say, $1,200 a month for rent. He gets with a woman, and this is why your math don't work. Because most cases, they're not gonna get a place for $1,200. $1,200 is for a single person, right? Just to be fair. You're gonna move into something that's bigger, right? So it's not gonna be $1,200.
No, that's an opinion.
That's an opinion.
It's opinion just the same way yours is opinion.
No, you said 1,200 is.
Most people are not going
That's
to.
your opinion.
Most people are not. Watch this right.
That's your opinion.
Let me ask you this. Does this make sense? I live in a place that's 1,200. You live in a place that's 1,200. Why would we move into a place together that's 1,200? Most people are going to upgrade because it's two people.
No, most people may not be able to
afford
to
If they can't, then she can just
single,
move in with him.
A single bedroom?
That's what I just said. You said
when either which person moves in, who decides who's going to pay the rent? That's what the question is. It's like, does he move in and say, or does she move in and be like, okay, I don't want to pay it anymore?
If a woman, I'm going to go back to the max out there. when I said max out, is that the contribution of finances into a relationship, most women prefer to do a 70-30 split. That's fair for most
regardless of the numbers, it's like, I get where you're coming from. Like, yes,
all I'm saying is
woman
that
didn't have to.
yeah, she didn't have
that
to.
was the choice.
Yes.
I do agree that
But-
they would rather.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
that's all I said.
I'm just saying it ain't right.
Okay, and then
American
again,
people
there's
can't
double
afford
standard.
that.
Listen, okay, so let's touch that because that's a valid question.
You know what I'm saying? I said most American people cannot afford
That's
to have
valid.
their
That's
male
valid.
counterpart hold the household down.
That's valid. So let's speak to those people then.
Right.
All right. So I believe that it's something as a man, and this young man right here, younger
I
than
can't
me,
speak on the
this young man right here has the blueprint, whether he knows it or not. So what I'm saying is this right here, there's provision that has to occur before that man even involves himself with a woman.
Right.
And so watch this right here. Let's just say I got a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. I got a 23-year-old kid. Huh? I got a 23-year-old kid.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got a 23-year-old, right? So this is what I'm teaching him. Now, once you get past this point, it's over. Like you in that situation. But as a 23-year-old male, this is what I teach him. I said from 18 to 25 to 23, don't think about girls. Why? Because you have nothing to offer. You can't take them nowhere. You can't bring them to the movie. You don't have a place to bring them if you want to do something. You got to scramble. You don't have anything to offer. And that 18-year-old woman is at the highest value that she's at because she can find a 25-year-old with a job, come scoop her up, get her out of her house, take her to the movie. So you can't even compete with that. So don't try. Focus on your college, your career. By the time you're 23, you graduate. Now work in your career and build yourself up and save your money. So when you're 30, now you can start looking to date. Maybe 28, 27, whatever, but you can start looking at that and do the provision so that you will be able to afford this type of stuff. Because again, if I'm looking to be a CEO of a company and what you really are doing when you're marrying, it's a company. The same role as a CEO, the head of that is the person who makes the decision. Now he has a board, which is the family, but ultimately he makes the decision, right? Now,
This is based off culture, right?
Based off culture.
Right.
It is based off what you
Each
want.
culture is
It's
different.
different. There's some cultures that won't even allow a woman to make a decision. So there's extremes on each side of it. So all I'm saying is this right here. I teach my son and my nephews to establish yourself financially before you take on the responsibility of a family that you can't afford.
I get that.
Now, if you're in a situation where you meet somebody and y'all can't afford this or that, if you're living on your own, bring her into that house, save her check for 3 years. Don't touch it. Sacrifice. Everything's a sacrifice. Sacrifice for 3 years.
Save her check.
Save her check for 3 years.
Save her check.
And the reason why you want to
Hold on, wait, whoa.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me finish.
Save her check.
Let me finish.
I know I'm at with this though, right?
Yeah, I know
Save
what
the check.
you're
You said do whatever.
Listen,
I
I'm
do whatever.
talking about a young kid.
What's
I'm
the
talking about
difference?
It's a big difference. I'm talking about my situation. And you
That's-
asked me.
but
She
you-
asked me.
that's
She asked me.
crazy,
No,
bro.
she asked me to speak.
No, I get it.
She asked me to speak to the people who are not in my situation.
I have to push back.
You asked me to speak on a situation on the
Because
people.
For the
50
people
is-
that can't afford it.
Listen, she asked me to speak for people that are not in my situation. So you can't judge me on what I'm saying based off of what I said about my situation. Now you're being a hypocrite
No, not because you're telling him to tell somebody else to save their check.
because they're not in my situation. How
You
you
can't
how
tell
do you
him
know
to
that?
tell somebody.
How did you know that I didn't do this to get this situation?
No, I'm talking about somebody else. You can't tell him to tell a woman.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You said, I'm going to have him to tell her to save her check.
Listen.
You can't tell him.
Listen, I can
to
tell him. I can tell him anything
How
I want to tell.
How he gonna tell her to save her check with no money?
Whether
He ain't got the money, so how is he dominant in a situation to tell her to do something?
he doesn't have to be dominant. He just have to have the right woman.
What?
He doesn't have to be dominant.
We just went through all of these things to
When
say that
you
you gotta be dominant. You gotta be smarter than somebody. You're
he is
superior.
smarter. He is smarter
So
by
with-
having
so-
a plan. He has a plan for them to get to where they want to
So
go.
that makes you that.
You used the word dominant.
think
I
that
never
a
said
plan-
dominant.
You
I
think
feel
that
like
a
either
plan?
which person should have a plan.
That's
You know what I mean?
No. Okay,
When
but
something happens with the family unit, for example, let's play into the fact of
you asked me a question, right?
I got you.
So let me just finish. Let me just finish my point. I'll
what
let
if
y'all
the
go.
man, tragically passes away, and then what happens to that family unit? Now you don't have the man to be.
Well, first of all, I never finished my
provider.
point. I never finished my point. So you can't even make that scenario when you don't know how my point ends. So again, I just wanted
But
to
we
finish
can
my
still
point.
transition to
But
something
that's a
else.
hypothetical that doesn't apply to what I'm saying. So my point is this right here. You asked me, how does a person that don't have the resources to not have a second income in their house do what I was proposing doing? And I'm trying to give you a blueprint for that. That's all I'm doing.
I get it.
All right. So I'm saying, as if you're a young man, you start from the beginning. You have a plan at 18
Right.
to
But
provide.
you have that choice.
We got
Yes,
to the savings.
yes.
But
Yes.
You have the choice.
Say that again?
But
We
what
got
if you
all the way
already
up to the
established?
savings.
Yeah. So, but now we switch from not a young man,
Right.
but somebody who already is in a situation.
Exactly.
All right. So now you're in a situation. You're not a young man no more. You met somebody, and you don't have your finances together. So now there has to be a sacrifice. Somebody's gonna have to sacrifice. Now it could be the woman, it could be the man, whoever you want to be. Like again, if it's good for you, I love it. It doesn't matter to me. It's not about male dominance. See, that word dominance is something I never said. I'm saying
superior and dominance is pretty much the same thing.
being superior and dominating somebody is totally different. I can be superior to you
Dominating
and don't dominate you.
Superior.
Superior is an
You
adjective,
basically
dominant is an action.
You basically,
Those are
you
two
basically-
separate words. One is an adjective and one is a noun.
but it can still
verb,
be the
rather.
same thing, bro.
It's if that's what you look at. If that it's a dirty word if you make it a dirty word.
Nah.
I'm superior to a bunch of people that I don't dominate. I don't dominate everybody, and I can
LeBron
be.
James is superior to, and he dominates.
But that's the
basically
game. That's the game he's in. I'm not in the game of dominating people. I'm in the game of empowering people, enlightening people, giving people
Well, we're talking
information.
about relationship, and,
And that's what I'm doing in my relationship. And that's what I'm.
superior. You got to be superior to your.
I didn't say that. I said a woman.
Didn't say that.
I didn't say you have to be
Man.
superior. I said a woman
We're
prefers.
downloading the data, bro.
A woman prefers a man that's superior. I didn't say you have to be superior. You
But
put
what
words in
does
my
that
mouth.
look
Why? Yeah, why?
It
Why
means-
not, instead of saying superior, we can say a woman will want a man that's going to lead.
Okay.
Not being
And in order to lead, you have to be superior.
That's
Not
what. No,
necessarily.
you don't.
Okay, but then what's the point? Anybody can lead.
Same
Anybody can lead.
Same thing with
Y'all,
the same
I see
thing is
what
with everybody.
he
gets
wants
the words.
controversy, y'all. That's all it is. He wants controversy. He don't want to learn. He don't want to learn. He wants controversy. Now you're picking words. I have a bigger point. I have a bigger point. I have a bigger point than superior.
Oh, we're
You
trying to get
focus
to a lot of
on-
stuff.
Let me just
Words
interject
matter.
real
But
quick.
you stop it. If you try to get
So-
somewhere, you stop
so
it on every little word.
While these words mean, while superior is to all influence and importance, dominance applies to something that is uppermost because of ruling or control. So there is a difference between superior and
difference.
dominant.
Ruling and controlling. You control your house.
No, I don't.
But it's a
want to
thin
control.
line.
I ain't say rule. You
It's
said.
It's a thin line.
Why
We
you
gonna continue
You
because
want controversy.
I'm not just talking out my ass, and I don't want controversy for
Right.
bullshit. I'm literally stating stuff you say.
But there's
Yeah, but
there's
I get it. No, we gotta move on. We gotta
There's
move
a
on.
thin line between how to define what is superior and what is dominant.
I get it, but I'm just speaking to what he says.
Yeah.
So
You're assuming
let's
that
just
I'm
go to
trying
hypothetical
dominate.
questions. Working too much, trying to provide. We're talking about paying our bills, right? Being burnt out, not being able to be that person for your woman. Does that matter?
It does matter.
And if it matters, how do you combat it?
I have a question. What you mean by that person? Not being that.
Oh, like your normal
Like your
stuff.
typical self.
Like,
I can
The
go.
fun you.
the fun you.
I'll go.
Everything y'all do that y'all love to do. Because that burnout does happen.
It is happening, and I'll tell you why. So I've working. I don't know if anybody's ever worked in kitchens or in the food industry. You're crunching
I
hours.
own the restaurant. I
Okay.
know exactly what you're talking about.
So you have
Or the mental health.
12
Not too far off.
between 12 or 14-hour
That's why you
shifts.
messed up.
Hey,
Psychologically, you all screwed
That's
up.
what I do all day.
They pull up the DSM real quick.
I get it now.
We would have went to the bathroom.
Get it now.
I would have them in my office like, so how does it make you feel?
Right.
I know.
She's a psychologist, so yeah.
Mental-
Good choice of panelists.
Bro, better y'all. I was like, oh yes.
Right. You were like, yeah.
Perfect. She's gonna stop all of this shit, and we're just gonna try to keep it going.
Yeah.
He's just gonna come in here, and he's gonna give us all the important shit we need.
Yeah.
He's still gonna keep going. That's why we sitting right here looking at each other. And then she's gonna say something that's smart as hell that brings us right back, and it's gonna keep going.
I feel like I worked in a country club, one of the most stressful jobs I've ever worked in. And I had my first daughter around this time I was working. And I'm talking like, you clock in for an 8-hour shift, and they're like, nah, you're staying for another 4 hours. We need you guys to stay. And then that's like 5, 6, 7 days a week most times. When I tell you there were so many nights I came home, I just couldn't do anything but just go to sleep. Or I'm grumpy because I'm like having issues at work. I'm not, and I'm not being able to be that person, that guy for my wife because it's like, you don't understand. I'm stressing at work. I got this going on. Then I was working another job, and it was just so much stress to where I quit. I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I will never work for another company. I will work for myself only. And I quit the job. I went to my business full time. And for the first 2 years of running our business, we were doing great. Like we were making money.
You and your wife business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's a family business. We were doing great. We were making money. And then we got too excited because, and this is where I made a mistake. I will admit, allowing her to make the financial decisions without me overseeing it caused us to go in the hole.
What do you mean, like paying the bills?
No,
I think he means communication-wise.
like
right?
I'll say she was overseeing the money. How much money is in the account? Oh, we're still good. Okay, I'm trusting, right? We start traveling. We go down.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Because I wonder, like, making the money, do you pay the bills too? Or not you, just in general?
So is it like a
Say if you're, in your situation, you say you 100%. Is that bank account joint? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's our business account. It's
Right.
our business account. And then we have.
So you speaking for the business?
Yeah, business-wise.
Got you.
If our money goes to our business account, we didn't take the percentage out that we pay ourselves with, put it in our account, like that, right? And there was a time where I'm like, all right, we're good. Let's go down south. Get on the road, we go down south. And my wife, even myself, but I'm always thinking, we're not getting no dirty motels. Got the kids with us.
Absolutely.
We need a suite. We need this, but I need to know if we're good, because if we're not good, I'm going to keep driving until we get to where we got to go. No, we're good, right? So one time we spent $7,000 traveling, and I'm thinking we're good, and we get back home. I'm like, all right, we need money to go get this. Oh, no, we don't. We only have $1,000. We have. Oh no, but the rooms cost this. And I'm like, I was furious. Like I'm not even gonna lie, but I can only be mad at myself because I should have said, no, I need to see what is in the account. I need to see the layout. How much are we spending for this hotel? And my wife is usually good with, Groupons or getting discounts or trying to pull, discounts out of whatever.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you would have got stuck down south, right? Stuck, I'm talking about jammed up. Who fault would it have been?
It would have been mine, but
That's
wait.
So it would have been your fault, and that's why I take the position that I take. Because if something like that does happen, it will fall on me. No one's you're not gonna be like, well, my wife, you can't do that.
Which
you
I
can't
did.
Put that on her.
Which I
so
did.
you have to take responsibility. That's why, for me, I feel that if that is gonna be my responsibility, if it goes bad, I am going to be the one spearheading the decisions. Because if it goes wrong, it's gonna be on me.
Right. But this is why I think some people have to go through the experience to learn that. Now don't give me right.
That's why I'm saying it. That's why I handle myself the way I did.
Right. So I'm not fully 100% disagree.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
But what I'm saying is, I had to go through certain things to understand why, for my marriage, my wife can't make all the financial decisions because, again, emotionally, she may say, "Yeah, we want this nice room."
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I would have said, "Look, well, let me push these next 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull over for a second, take a 30-minute nap, and we hit the road so we can get to our destination."
I want to add something to your story. What if she was driving and if and if the decision was based on her being tired or being able to handle the drive, she would have pulled over because she is not equipped to make it. Like you would have been able to push through.
Right.
She wouldn't have been able to push through as safely as you. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. And I wanted, there was a point you made about the laundry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, you know, and this is also how people are raised too, how the woman is raised. My wife was raised by a single mother, right? Right? So a single mother is going to teach her daughter to be independent.
Yep.
So sometimes, right, I will allow her to learn.
Just so
I'll
she'll know.
Because she'll say, babe, I got this. No, I got it. Okay.
But sometimes you got it now.
Right, no, which sometimes you will, but
You
it
like,
brings it to the
okay.
point where he said,
You
wait,
ever talk
I was gonna say, then it brings it to that point of saying, how far can you travel that? And then later on, I gotta hear, oh, my shoulder and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why I try to tell you. So I'm not always trying to be like, you need to listen to me.
So it's fair to say that we all have kind of the same, but it's just how it's coming across on my end. I'm coming up real sharp because I've been through it already. I know the outcome of this. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. I've seen a woman that wants to do everything on her own and the relationship turn to shit. I've seen it. And I've seen relationships where there's one clear-cut leader and he makes the decisions and she said, look, I chose the right man that's going to make the decisions for us. Some women don't want that.
Right.
Some women want to make the decisions for. Some women want a man that's going to listen to them.
That's true. That's true. And my this is her money is my money and my money is her money. It's the fact that she has all access to the money, but there's a communication part that has to come up where she's like, look, I want to use this money for this. And if it's, like I said back full circle, if it's not beneficial for the household, then we don't take trips right now. Because right now,
that last trip.
No, seriously, no, it is.
Like,
But if I'm being full transparent, right, we're trying to make a better financial decision on where we're going to move to as far as, all right, give me an example. We're doing a lot of, it's called diaspora. I don't know if you guys know what the diaspora is, but there are a lot of African countries welcoming African Americans back over there. And they're paying them as well as financially over there. $30,000 can get you a paid-for house with a nice compound and maybe even a half an acre of land, right? Opposed to, all right, do I financially try to struggle here where I gotta get a mortgage and then I may pay on my house for 35 years and still may not own my house.
What if your wife doesn't want to go? And you as the husband, watch this right here. Foresight of what we know, and I don't know how current you are with what's going on with the U.S. and where it's going. Okay, based on what you know about what's going to happen, it's going to happen soon, and you already got this in your mind. This is what you want to do. Will you make that decision without her 100% agreeing?
So it goes back to what you said. I already know what type of woman I married.
Okay,
right.
You know.
Okay.
So she's gonna let the leader lead.
I can tell you right now, right. My wife, and it took us a while to get to that point. We did a lot of counseling to where she said, I trust you to make the decisions. But that doesn't mean I exclude her opinion or her decision making as well. It's just the fact that she knows when it comes to protection, right? She has to understand I'm a skilled martial artist. I'm aware of.
He's a bad boy, by the way.
Appreciate that, brother. She has to be more aware that, okay, if I say, look, we gotta get out of here now, she gotta say, okay, let's go now. Well, I still gotta grab this. There's still stuff to, so it goes back to financial. It's the same thing. Look, I see some land over there in Hamden. We're trying to do X, Y, and Z. I think it's best that we invest in that land. She knows the vision, so she's gonna say, well, she may ask me, well, did you go see the land? Did you price it already? Do we have to soil test? That is where we are when it comes to making decisions financially. And it took us some time where even I've made some mistakes where I've had habits and it was like, you just spent the last $100. I'm like, yeah, I got whatever.
Let me ask you guys this right here. So what he explained was a very wholesome, understanding, reasonable, rational interactions with a woman. So that's why I said when we start talking about the other ends of this, it becomes real ratchet and it becomes real devious. There's nefarious players on both sides, men and women. But when we're talking about 4 married couples, I don't think most of that applies to us. And I think that we can get into an interaction with a female and a male and really hammer out what you really want that's going to work for you guys.
Break time. Gotcha. That was a good stop.
You were like, hey,
You notice how smooth it was going without him, right? The controversy guy. Yo, but listen, but bro, you're putting a lot of words in my mouth, man.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I bet you I'm not.
No, listen.
And I'll send you exactly. I'm gonna send you the clips of when you said.
No,
it.
let me say this right here, though. I can say something,
even when
but then you're putting meaning. You're putting meaning to what I'm saying. You're saying
I'm black and white, bro.
Listen, bro. It's one thing to say I said something, but then you're saying so. What you're saying is and going on and explaining.
No, I say you said that. That's what I'm saying.
They saying in my group that
Yeah, but you're saying to me that what my statement means. And you're telling me what I'm thinking. That's not a fact.
let me
You said you guarantee that you know what I was going to say. And I already said it. You said I already said it.
guys, it is on mute because they're taking like a little break. But I'm crying because y'all know I'm not up here. And this is funny because they're like word playing. And, I just be getting to the point, so. But this is super interesting. 4 married couples, all different perspectives. We love it. 50-50. Are we going 50-50? Are we doing 70-30? Y'all weigh in. If you're a woman, because they did have a question. They said, if you're a woman and you had a choice, right? Would you really want to go 50-50 or 60-40, you being the 60, or 80-20, you being the 80? Would you want to do that? Some women want, I was looking at some comments. Somebody said we should always have our own stash. Yes, I do agree. You should have money for a rainy day, period. For your household or for yourself, just in case. The young lady up there said, what if your husband tragically passes away? But, I do feel like as a husband, those things should be in place. Like if somebody passes away, this is what happened. This is the insurance you have. So there's a lot of dynamics when it comes to marriage and relationships and things of that nature. So, this is interesting to me, very interesting. I'm sorry it blacked out for a second. Uh, he wailed his arms and the portable internet fell off and it cut the stream. But so I apologize for that. But y'all know I'm about to get up here and go thick about this 50-50 on my own time because y'all know I don't agree with it. Although I do agree that a woman can contribute, and I do agree she can contribute in many, many, many ways in the household. But just don't put that financial burden on me. So they're about to, I think, restart, if I'm not mistaken, and then I will go off and then I will mute everything again. This is funny because we have a woman who's a woman, and then we have a laid back martial artist, and then we have my husband who's all erratic. You know how he's passionate about his points, and then we have Wavy who is super passionate as well. He's a word guy, and he likes the controversy and the debating. So I'm watching like I'm at like a talk show, y'all. I wish I had some popcorn, some kettle corn or something. But yeah, so I'm going to unmute and I'm going to close this off. I'm going to unmute and then we'll get you guys, I'll get you back on. I can't comment right now because I'm streaming from my phone, but I am going to turn it back on now. Bye guys. Thank you for watching.
In the house, do you control what the heat is on? Do you control when it can get cut on? What food can be eaten by who? All those little knickknacks. Control that? You can start with you.
I would
Well,
say,
you're 50-50.
yeah.
So
I was just about to say.
yeah, you're 50-50. So speak from somebody like a couple you think that should be like another couple.
Another couple that should be 50-50 or
No, a couple that the man pays all the
That's
bills.
hard for her to answer because she's not
Because-
in that position.
No,
So how can she tell somebody that's in a position what she thinks they should do?
easy.
That don't
You
make
just
sense.
say what you think somebody should do.
It's not valid.
Bro, you do it all the time.
No, that's not.
Bro,
I'm not talking. I never told
it's
them.
easy.
I
I
never
said
told
we're
them
gonna
what
talk
they
to the
think they
masses,
should do.
bro.
I
If
never
you
told
can
them.
talk, if that's the case, she ain't gonna say nothing.
No,
That's what I'm saying. Just
She's
speak
50-50.
from if you were looking at a couple
right.
and the guy pays all the bills, do you think that he should control stuff in the house? It's that simple. It is simple. It's very
I
simple.
mean, based off of that scenario, if it's not the 50-50 situation, then probably in that household you would say yes. But
I'm talking about the knickknacks.
what do you mean, like the food,
Yeah, like
the temperature?
The petty shit.
yeah,
I
like
feel like that's
like
not a
October
fight, though.
coming.
That's petty shit. It's
That,
over.
what is it?
And-
Hold up, I don't want to confuse them. It was what, dominance and
Superiority.
superiority? Okay, which one? Hold up.
Dominance. That'd be dominance.
That would be
That's
dominance.
dominance, yeah.
Okay, so then that would be like they're dominating the other person to say, okay, you can only have the temperature at this, and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because there's, I mean, but that
let
would,
me push back.
that's borderline people being like narcissistic.
But let me push back on you.
I got this.
Buying a house.
All right.
He makes the final decision. What's the difference?
What do you mean?
He has all the money. You want this house. He wants that house. He says no, but you think this house is better for certain reasons. Is that dominance? He has the money to pay for it,
Right.
so he's gonna get this house. Is it the same thing? No?
I don't know about that.
What you think?
I think
it's dominance. If because now it's almost you're making an executive decision. I am dominating the
Right.
situation to say
this is what we're gonna do.
this is what we're gonna do, and see, and a lot of people think like control is bad. To be able to control the situation isn't a bad thing.
You have to assess it first.
You know what I mean? So to say I gotta control this situation, like perfect example.
Well, I'll go ahead.
Somebody breaks into the house. Who's the first person to go downstairs? Why?
Because
Because there's some things that men do in the house.
Or
No,
I don't want to say can't.
I don't agree with that.
I won't say
I'm just saying that's what.
So you're gonna put your woman in
No, I'm gonna put whoever's the most fucking tactical.
Right.
You think that
and your woman is more tactical than you?
I'm talking
asking
for
you.
the masses, bro.
And most men are more
No,
tactical.
my woman is not more
Okay,
tactical.
so then-
And that's not a thing.
But
that
the masses say that more men are tactical
if
than
you
women.
dated a woman cop
But
and
we're
she
talking
knew
about the masses.
and she knew everything better than you when it came to the tactical side of this, and she say, "Go get to the kids. I'm getting my AR-15 and I'm lining up." What you gonna say? I'm the man.
No,
That's what you gonna say?
That's not what I'm gonna say. But
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say. Because first of all, you're contradicting yourself.
What are you gonna say, bro?
You're contradicting yourself. Let's go back on
What are
your
you gonna
contradiction
say, bro?
first. Because that's a specific
See
situation
what I'm
that
saying
doesn't apply to the
I'm
masses.
literally
No.
asking the question.
And I'm-
You're not gonna answer.
I'm gonna answer the question,
So
but
what
I'm
are you
gonna
gonna
call you
say?
out on your bullshit
That's
first.
not bullshit.
It is
It's a
bullshit.
question.
Because you said that we're talking about the masses. How many women cops are there
We've been
versus
talking
men
about
cops?
both. We've been talking about specifics and we've been
Okay, but
talking
then we're
about
talking. You just said answer the question for the masses, but then you give a specific situation.
I
that
didn't
don't
say
apply
answer
to
the question for the masses. I said you answered the question.
Before
I didn't say
said
you
that,
gotta talk to the
you asked
masses.
them to answer the question for the masses.
I'm asking you, bro. You're not gonna answer.
Yes or no? I am gonna answer.
Whatever you were saying, bro.
That's bullshit.
my point is this, right?
That's crazy.
I'm dominating a situation in the household to say, because most men don't even, or we can say this, most African American men don't even know how to defend themselves outside martial arts or are licensed to carry, because most of us either have felonies, don't believe karate can work, or whatever.
Lawful.
Well, lawfully, yeah, no, lawfully. So, right, if somebody comes to my house, most men think, grab the bat, go downstairs, without really assessing the situation, saying, all right, which door did they come in? What is the sound that I heard? Do I bring the kids to the room? That is me dominating that situation. Now, if my wife is capable of doing that, or she's more superior in that sense, then I have to, be humble enough to say, "Hun, what do we do?"
But you see how easy it was for you to answer that question, but you won't.
I won't answer the question. It's just that if I don't answer it on your time, you have a problem with
That's
it.
correct. Well, I'm the mediator, so I'm
here's the
just
thing.
simply asking the question,
Because
bro.
if you ask-
This ain't about control or dominance.
It's about control or
I'm simply
dominance.
asking you,
But
or superiority.
all I was making
I'm
a statement
simply
is
asking
saying
you
that
if
that
one person
he
is
said
more
he said the same
skillful
thing. He
in
said the
something.
same thing that I said.
who takes
He said the same thing I said. Before he said that, he went through his dissertation and then answered the question. I went through my dissertation and you cut me off and said just answer the question. That's on tape. He had the whole time to say everything he wanted to say before he answered the question, right? Uninterrupted, right?
I said my
Uninterrupted,
I
right?
didn't answer the question.
And he answered the question.
So it's on you now.
Okay, so
to
it's on
answer
me. So basically,
the first question.
which was that? The petty
No,
part?
yeah.
Petty part? Oh,
No, yeah.
the petty part.
Temperature.
That's petty. That's petty. Petty. I'm not in the 50-50. And I would never do that because guess what? Why would somebody want to be with somebody like that?
No,
And
we're not talking about 50-50.
No, I know that. I said I'm not in a 50-50. So I can say that in a non-50-50, it would be petty to control little bullshit like that. Because again, a woman has to decide who she's with. If a man will put you in a situation and control those little things right there, you're with the wrong guy.
especially when you know it's cold and
Yeah.
So let me.
turn the heat.
Either which way, whether
so-
it's 50-50 or
I
mean,
right.
So I agree with y'all. But the only thing I don't agree with, and this is what I was trying to explain to you, words matter to me. I don't, and y'all all said, I think y'all all said petty. I don't think it's petty.
That's spiteful.
Well, all right, I didn't say
No,
that.
I'm.
I get what you're
So
saying.
like, oh, you
Maybe I asked.
and
I'm sorry, I asked the question wrong. What I'm basically trying to say is, if a bill spikes, if you're paying the bill, and you want to control it
Okay.
in a certain way,
Okay, so
that's what I'm trying to
what
say.
we do is, what
I'm not.
we-
You know,
But do
I'm
you
probably
say-
I'm probably
Get
asking
a
y'all
smart
wrong.
Yeah.
Can I ask a
thermostat
question,
and
Wayne?
we
So if somebody was working at their job, right?
Yep.
And they have an owner of the company and they don't pay the bills. They work there, but they're assistant manager, supervisor, COO, whatever. And the manager says, or the owner says, I need this heat to stay at 75 every single day, right? Is that considered petty? Or is that what the standard is? And if they need it to go higher, then they just consult
That's why
the owner.
That's why I said
That's a-
And then they say,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
it's communication.
The way you framed it.
That's why I
was
said
like,
maybe I
oh,
asked y'all wrong.
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
framed it. You framed it.
Right.
It's like, we
Like-
turning this
Like,
to
because
Well, I
that was
said
a
control.
trap.
That word
That was a
control.
trap That was a trap question for me. Because if I'd have been like, yeah, she can't. No, that's control. That's dominant. You know what I'm saying? It's a trap question.
But wait, so then what I would do is I would say, if we got to monitor the heat, I would either say, look, I bought some sweatshirts, some long johns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that way we ain't got to blast the heat. Now, we know we in Connecticut. It get cold here.
It can go tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? If we don't turn that heat up a little bit, one, your pipes can freeze.
Right.
And that'll be a problem. And two, we'll wake up with, I don't want to say hypothermia, but you know how cold it gets. So now it's like, all right, we also get hot here.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime, look, drink some water, we'll turn the AC on, but look, keep all the doors open. So that way we're not blasting all the ACs. Keep the doors open, have one AC on, have the fan on, so now all the air is circulating. Mm-hmm. That's just how, but that's also a communication thing. Can we communicate? Now, if we got somebody, no, I'm turning the AC on.
Well, I got a better question in that matter that might be more controversial. So what you just described could be the same situation in a 50-50. So I don't know what 50-50 looks like, but I'm asking and I'm trying to see if 50-50 is she pays that bill, does she have the right to say, or he pays that bill? Meaning that 50-50 could be everything down the middle, or I pay this, you pay that. Right. So, so you can't say in a 50-50 whether that's relevant or not. I'm paying the bill, you need to put a sweater on.
I think in a 50, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think in a 50-50, you got to be more.
Because my 50 is starting to be more than your 50 because you're running up the bills.
You got to be more compromising in a 50-50 than in a 100-0. I'm going to just say 100-0. You got to be able to compromise more because you like, I do this. It's easier arguments too. I do this. Well, I do this. So I think in a situation like that with heat and all of that type of stuff, I think it'll be like some.
Yeah.
Because only an asshole will be like, well, I pay this.
Right.
My mother
Either
said
which
that shit to
way.
me as a kid, but only a controlling person will be like, listen, I pay this heat. It can't come on.
That's my father, man.
But what?
And it's crazy though because me and my wife, I don't know if you saw me in her podcast yet. We talk shit to each other, and I would say something like that to her, but she was paying it at one point. She don't pay it no more. But it'll be like I'll be hot, and that's the only reason I'll be like, listen, put some sweatpants on. It's not cold in here. You know what I mean? But it's not on no, I pay this. You can't turn it on until I'm ready to. Nah, it's never. That's definitely petty, and definitely.
And our body temperatures are regulated differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I run hot. My husband runs cold, so he likes to wear sweatsuits in the summertime.
That's different.
You know what I'm
We agree on that.
He's Asian, so he, you know what I'm saying? He likes to be hot. Whereas me, if it's too hot, I'm sweating.
Well, that's still different for a woman. Most women are cold all the time. Most women are anemic.
I be hot.
So let me. I'm afraid to ask this question because I feel like this is gonna be the end. We ain't gonna agree. Well, I don't know. If you don't pay all the bills, and this word that I'm about to say is it's one of my podcasts. I just gotta find the right people. Should your woman submit?
Well,
submit that word.
Can we start with this?
That word.
Do you submit to your husband?
And what is? Let's define.
I'm like,
let's define.
What does that
submit?
In your definition of submit, do you submit to your husband?
I would say yes.
Okay, what is your definition?
My definition of submission is,
Do you think it's only one definition?
I'm asking about her definition.
No, I'm saying I'm not talking about you. I'm saying like.
So if I
do you
say,
think everybody should feel like it's only one definition? Like the dictionary, do you think we should just go by that?
Well,
because like I be wondering.
You said you're literal, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you agree that a word is a word.
But that's why I feel like there's so much controversy in it because everybody is
one of those
making
words
it what they want.
So
that's why I feel like
I'm hearing a definition and see how far away you're going from the actual definition.
Yeah.
Some people can go 2 steps, 3 steps, but then some people just turn the whole definition to something else. That's different.
And that's why I'm asking, because
Yeah.
quite frankly, I don't know what it means nowadays.
Well, see, it
That's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
nowadays. It doesn't matter. What it means is what it means. How
Right,
people interpret it and how people, that's something totally
Basically,
different.
like tricking
In order-
prostitution.
It's
Same
it-
thing,
different.
different
But-
meaning.
But let me, before you read that definition,
Alright.
the bottom line is this right here. I'm going to tell you, if a woman is 50-50, she shouldn't submit.
I ain't got no pushback.
No, I'm just saying she shouldn't.
Well, I don't have a argument.
Yeah, I mean she shouldn't.
'Cause
Why should she?
That's something that I
Why
feel
should?
like.
Because submission it goes from one person being superior in some kind of way. Now watch this right here. I said it earlier. When it comes to certain things, I will submit to my wife's knowledge and her information that I don't have.
See, that's where I was wondering, like, cause submit. Are we talking about just? Obviously, we're not talking about just in the bedroom.
In order,
But you said knowledge.
in order
That's a
to
form of submission.
submit to something, that thing that you're submitting to should be superior. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody.
So if you're 50-50, there's no superior. There's nobody superior.
So here's the definition.
But with superior, it could be
But it's
in
not.
different things.
No, I know that. And that's what I just said. But if you're 50-50, I'm going by what you're saying. 50-50.
But that's a 50-50 in all aspects of it. Is that what you're saying?
No, y'all 50-50.
We talking about 50. We talking
Well,
about
I'm
50
talking about.
money.
Yeah,
I'm not 50.
I'm talking about.
But I think you think I'm 50.
No,
I'm
I
not.
thought you said you were.
No, I'm not 50.
I thought you said it.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
It's crazy because when I made the post, well, read the definition.
This is the definition: the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. Here, the similar: yielding, agreement, acceptance, accession, compliance, consent.
doesn't sound like a bad definition, but somehow it's a dirty word.
So because people confuse it with control, and there are people who take the word submission as a dominance. You listen to me. You
Or
submit
somebody,
to me.
or I think the better way to put that is that people who are asked or caused to submit feel that it makes them inferior. And nobody wants to be
about the woman.
Yeah. No man I know of says that I'm going to submit to my.
When they read the vows, do they say that?
No.
For the man? I don't remember.
Biblically, it's for the woman to submit to the man. It
The
has
man is
nothing.
supposed to lead his family and cling to his wife.
Yeah.
But the woman is supposed to submit.
So in other words, when a marriage is happening, the father that gives away his daughter is giving his authority to that man to govern his daughter in the same way he governed her in his house.
That shit sound crazy though.
No, it
But
don't.
no,
it
because
don't.
marriage then was financial.
Right.
It was all
And
about
that's
financial.
like a
That's
dowry
the
and all of that.
Because it was saying
It's a
marriage
transaction.
back, well,
It's even more now.
So now-
and I say back then because now people don't think of it as a financial thing. They think it more emotionally.
Yeah.
People get married based off emotions rather than, a father says, look, you marry this man or this man marries you. He has to take care of you as far as, let's say, right, if there was a young man and a young woman, right? Well, this was my son. I owned all of this. That woman's father would say, you need to marry that man because he is going to be able to provide for you and all of those children with the land that he has. That was then. When I say then, I'm talking more of
I agree, and I'm all for that.
Right.
Because basically, if you go even further back, when you go into the caveman or to our native primitive state, is that a woman would choose a man that was dominant so that she knows that he will be able to protect her children. Her number one thing was to make sure the children are safe. So she's going to choose an alpha. She's going to choose a dominant man that no matter what happened, her children will be safe. She wouldn't choose anything inferior. That's why I asked that question. That's a natural instinct that's placed on the inside of every woman to choose a man that is dominant, that is superior, so that her prized possession, which is her children, are safe. And that again goes back to security. That's all I've been saying from day one.
It's crazy you say that because I literally just saw it's a South African bullfrog.
Mm-hmm.
And there's in the water, they all battle out. And the one that comes out the most dominant
Gets
the most women.
all of them.
because they know that this bullfrog is going to protect their egg.
And
Right, and that's how it is with women in our kingdom. They all, watch this right here. You do know that 80% of the women want 10 to 20% of the men?
Yes,
10%.
10%. The most money.
Well, money and provision. Money and
This ain't got
provision.
nothing to do with looks. This ain't got nothing to do with
No, it definitely got to do with
Jay-Z.
looks.
Well, no, it
This
doesn't
ain't got
have
nothing
to
to do with it. It's about status.
But here's the thing. You're absolutely right.
Status.
But see, that's the thing. We pick women because of beauty.
Right.
And they pick women because of provision.
Because of money. Let's just say money.
We can say
Fuck
money,
the
we can say
provision.
provision. But
Money.
Because again,
Is that really love?
No. The reason why, because you can't say that with this man sitting right here. You can't say that because he's not, in my understanding, you're not providing money, you're providing provision. You're growing your own food.
You said
you're doing all these.
You said
those
the
are
10.
just. Those
right,
are
you said
just.
the 10%. He's not the 10. We're not the 10%. Oh, you're right. You're talking about him because he's the masses. We're talking about that 10% of. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give you that.
You're right.
But,
You're definitely right.
But at the same time, being a part of the 10%, I will say that I respect that just as much because it will take me resources, money, and going in the corporate world or being an entrepreneur or being a CEO to get the same thing that he can get with his own hands.
So what is your idea of 10%?
What's my idea?
10%.
Well, the 10% of the 10%. Well, first of all, we ask a woman because it's what they want. There's a certain level. There's a certain man that checks off a certain box for each woman, and it's only 10% of the men that have that. First of all, there's only a certain amount. We're talking about money.
That's the
If
box.
Okay, so then what do you think is the median income of what a woman wants a man to make? 90% of the women want to make over 100,000. But there's less than 10% of the men in the country in the world that makes over 100,000.
I think it's way more than that. I forget what it was, but it was way more than that.
As far as percentage wise?
How much they want a man to make.
But either way, but 100,000 is not even what they want because 100,000 is nothing.
What 100? Yeah, 100,000 is not 10%.
Most women want men to. They want men in the 1%, really.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm giving the numbers because there are some women that are okay. Well, I get it, but still, 10% of the men are in this position. Some make $1 million plus, some pay 150. They fall in that category, and most women want that for their provision. I can't say money. I say provision. You can say money,
and that is what makes it a setup for disaster. Because if money is the first and pretty much the only thing for that percentage of women,
let me ask you
then that's a setup.
Is money bad to you?
No.
Okay, so
it's not about being. It's not about money being bad.
If it's the root of the relationship,
right?
Okay, but the reason why I said is it bad because if the root money, the love of money is the root. Okay, but so the reason why I say that because when you talk about a woman wanting a man for money, it sounds negative, and you said it's a disaster. But if a woman wants that man and what he does with his money.
No, we're not saying.
But
that.
Listen what I'm saying. But listen what I'm saying.
That's like a unit, though.
But
if you don't even know
that she's shallow and she just wants to
right. If you don't even know him,
okay,
and you just want to know
that he could provide the lifestyle that she wants.
Right. That has nothing to do with can you do anything for me? They're not asking can you grow your own.
I think that you're really cynical to the majority of women.
You gotta hit small words for me, bro. I'm sorry. Smaller words for me.
Cynical? Oh,
smaller words. Because I might be cynical and I'll be like, yeah, I am. But
yeah. Well, cynical is having a contrary attitude towards a group of women.
I hate them. I hate all those women.
90% of them?
Fuck all of them. So yes, I'm cynical. Fuck all of them. Because that ain't love, bro.
Well, let me just say this.
Like, it's different for you because I don't know y'all personally, but I know Eddie, and Tiff. I know y'all love each other. You know what I'm saying? All of them, there's no love involved with that. If you want to know a guy's bank account and that's it, and literally that's it, that's nothing. That's getting the bag, and you ain't doing nothing with his money.
I think that there's a group of women that fall in that, but I can't say 90%. I think that's a little extreme. I think that society. I think we see that on social media. We see the bad part. But again, I'm speaking to people that are not at that extreme, because there's more people. I think that there's more people out there that are not at that extreme. But deep down on the root of every woman, she does have an affinity for a man that can provide for her. And it requires money to do that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Wait, can I ask a question? Okay,
Coming up
so
some,
you know that okay, so you're cynical for women for wanting financial provision, right?
No,
No,
no, I'm cynical for the women
that only want that.
that only is, and it's not provision. It's just giving me
the
this,
money.
and I'll give you some ass.
So do you remember though that there was times where,
Hold on, bro.
do you remember that there were times when women had arranged marriages? So the psyche of a woman falls in love with the man.
Arranged in the U.S.?
They have been arranged in the U.S., India, a lot of places, but we can fall in love based on how a man takes care of us.
Right, but
so
that's
even if you're
different.
going
That's
for
totally
that
different.
first, you eventually love the man as a whole, like the provision of it.
On that right there. So basically, what she's. Let me expound on that. So basically, women are not wrong for wanting a guy with money. And women may not even love that guy. But I guarantee you, if a man does what he's supposed to do with that woman, there's a strong possibility, if he chose a good woman at his core, that love will come. Because a woman, because this is, let me
It's a fake ass relationship.
Let me say this right
So
here.
you're basically,
I'm gonna tell.
let me get to that.
It's not fair. Let me just finish. Okay, but let me finish what I'm saying.
You're basically saying you gotta buy my love.
That's not what I'm saying. God damn, I didn't say that. Let me say what I'm saying before you say it. This is what I'm saying.
Oh man.
Men
Go ahead.
are not loved unconditionally.
And that's where it's fucked up.
Okay, so we agree with that.
I agree.
Okay, so let me finish my point then. We are loved because of conditions that we put the woman in, and that's across the board. So what I just said, how can you disagree with that? I'm not loved because I'm just me. I'm loved because what I can provide for this woman and how I can provide and the image of how she can raise her kid, the life that she can dream about with me. That's what makes her love me.
But I also think that's what
I was saying. So you disagree with it.
So you're basically saying, if I'm broke and I can come up with you together, there's no chance.
I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying.
So how do I establish you without money?
I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna answer that question because you put words in my mouth. I didn't basically say that. I said one thing, and it doesn't mean the opposite of what I said.
So how do you establish a woman without money?
When I met my wife, I wasn't rich. I still was.
But we're talking about the 10% though.
And but guess what?
That's what you have to speak to.
But
again, you're in a totally different
I still was a part of the 10% before I was rich, brother.
You can't be a part of the 10% if you're not rich.
Well, what's rich? Is 100,000 rich?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But what I'm saying,
10% of the United States. How many people is in the United States? You can't think just because you can't. You won't even fall in 10%. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying 10% as a 10%. In Connecticut, it's still a lot of people. So you're still looking.
I don't know what percentage of men make $100,000 a year in the world or in the U.S. U.S.
But you still gotta divide that or multiply that by the full population.
Well, again, it's just
to get the percentage.
No, it'll do it on its own. If you say what is the percentage of men that make $100,000 a year in America?
It's saying 17. Wait. 17% of all men earn over 100K per year, compared to only 8.4% of women.
Okay, so again, my numbers are so again 17%. So there's a larger number of men that make 100,000. So what I'm saying is, so go to 150,000
out of whatever the
350 million people in the United States.
That ain't shit.
Okay, but what we talking? We talking about the United States, or we talking about the world?
No, that's what I'm saying. It gets worse if we talk about the world.
We get the world because that number becomes smaller.
But and that's what I'm trying to say.
Approximately 33.6% of Americans make over 100K per year. 15% of that number are those who make between 100K and 150K, and only 1% make over $1 million per year.
Okay, that's 1%. Yeah, that's 1%. So my point is, I don't even remember what it was saying, but my point, what was
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'm not the only one.
Basically, how to acquire a woman without the money.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
So again, that's what I was saying. When I met my wife, I wasn't a part of the 10%, but I owned my business and I never had a job. Right? I made good money, but it wasn't rich money. And so at that point, women, if you're young enough, they'll date you on potential. They'll date you on vision.
On potential of what though?
Potential of your earning, potential of what you're going to make out of it. If a guy's not doing nothing with his life and she sees he's not doing, a woman's going to ask those questions. Hey, what are your plans? A woman's father is going to ask him those questions.
But that's why I said it all depends on culture too, because a culture and how I'm now in the process of thinking is, and my wife as well, luxury is over needs is a difference.
Yeah.
We want to have nice cars. We want to have, take big trips. We want to have this. We want to have that. But if we had the bare minimum, which is roof over our head, food in our stomach, clothes on our back, could we still be okay? Is that still provision? We can't knock the man who only wants.
I think
I agree. I agree with that.
What you were saying about women will work with him, well, not work with him, but see your potential.
Yeah, and
I believe that.
And a lot of times she'll be
about,
willing to invest in it to help her get to what she really wants.
Right. But the women, that's.
But the catch-22 of that is, if he doesn't meet that potential, then you're looking at a different situation.
Yeah,
because it's also not good to fall in love with a potential that somebody can achieve, and then what happens when they don't?
No, you're right. But again, I think that the falling in love part comes after he achieves it. I think that a woman should be.
Dang, that's crazy.
No, I mean, it depends.
You gotta love me after I'm successful.
No, it's not. It's not.
Like, now that we've been together
First of all,
180 days,
right.
Falling in love and being in love is something totally different. Right. Being in love, loving you, love somebody. Once somebody can love somebody but not be in love with them and wanting to take that next step. And most times, how many people you dated before you got married? That's a prime example. You loved them, and now some people can't stand those same people right now.
Right. So they stay with them because they're rich.
Well, if they're not with them, if you got married to somebody else, we're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody who you all married to one person, right? And there was people that you were dating that you're not with now, and some of those people you can't stand. Is that fair to say? Some of the people you would never talk to. Yeah, in the past. Absolutely. So what I'm saying is that you did love them, but at this point you're not in love with them. So it's possible to be with somebody for an extended period of time and love them, and for whatever reason, a woman said it's not working out. Right. This is not coming to what I thought it was going to be. Exactly. And then now she's like, well, you know what? This is not for me. But there's a lot of guys that sell women type dreams, though.
That's true too. But you also got to see on the flip side, if she only everything falls through sometimes. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah. So and things fell through for me, but my wife is still there because she realized this guy has something.
And you're a part of the people that I'm not talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about the people that
aren't ambitious,
right,
that don't want to do nothing with their life.
They don't need no woman then. They need to be by themselves. They need to be by themselves. Broke niggas don't deserve pussy.
Everybody needs
somebody.
No, you don't. Most men, that there's a large majority of men that never have a wife, never have kids, and die alone
because they rich as fuck.
No, I'm talking about the poor people.
And they don't want to spend it.
The poor people. There's more men that are by themselves every day and die that way than you would even think of.
A rich person don't want somebody, and a poor person don't want somebody.
I didn't say they didn't want nobody.
I'm saying for me, a rich person don't want nobody because they can't trust somebody with their money. Right. Poor people, they just don't have life together.
Yes.
So they can't get nobody.
Yes.
That shit basically go hand in hand.
I don't agree with that.
Like,
how does that? How's that?
Rich and poor, it do.
I said how.
That middle is where we at with it. If you doing something, if you getting money, that's gonna attract women.
Well, two things you said.
If you get money, it's gonna.
If I go a rich man that don't want a relationship and a poor man who do what he can, that don't correlate. Now, if you say two people who want it and the variable that's different is money, then that you can compare that. But one wants it and one doesn't want it.
Let me go a step further. If they both want it, the rich man probably won't get it because he's too defensive over his money, which the 1% of women are only going after.
1%.
Yes, he said it. He said 1% millionaires.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, right.
oh,
That's what I'm saying.
you said 1% women. I'm thinking you said.
Oh no. The one. Well, if it's 1% of men, it's about fucking 50% of the women who only want millions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Probably more.
Probably more.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably more.
And that's basically.
And so if you want to have more options, you make more money as a man.
So
A
let's
young
say,
man.
does it really make you a man? And that's a broad term, obviously. But I just gotta ask it like that. If you go 50-50. And I mean, you could speak for the masses if you want, or you could speak for yourself.
I think it makes you a man if you just provide. You know what I'm saying?
Well, does it not make you a man?
If you decide you don't want to
If
provide.
50-50.
50-50.
If
So
you, does it not make you a man if you
He's in a 50-50, so he's not gonna say it doesn't make me a man. You said
I'm
he's in a 50-50,
not,
right?
I'm not in 50. What I am is I said that.
It's
No,
different.
what I'm saying is this. I don't have a 50-50 or a we all do it all because we're joint. You get what I'm saying? So it's there is no 50-50. No, it's not 50-50.
I'm confused. The number.
everything is in.
See, that's why I was
Everything's in.
telling him on the
50-50
side. It shouldn't
is-
say 50-50. It should just be like
Everything
the
is
man
in.
takes the
Right.
lead or not.
50-50 going back to what we talking about.
No, but I'm just saying for me it's not 50-50 because we're joint. 50-50 is saying you pay this, I pay that.
Right.
So you
I'm
have
saying-
separate bank accounts?
Who? Ken?
Separate bank accounts.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, we have
You're-
separate bank accounts and a joint account.
I'll have
We have a joint.
separate and joint.
No, just joint.
That sounds closer to 50-50 for me.
No, separate.
It just sounds close.
Separate would be 50-50. If I have my own account, that means she will pull her money out and I will pull my
Well,
money out.
joint sounds like you said, she's able to go and get whatever she needs out of the account. You're able to go get whatever you need out of the account.
Right, but we're not splitting anything. We're just paying everything. You know what I'm saying? We're not splitting. That's one unit.
Right.
We're not saying,
It's a pot,
All right.
like I said.
right, you're paying the light bill,
Take out the
I'm
pot.
gonna pay this. We just put in a pot and we pay out of the pot. You know what I mean? If I'm putting the most money, it don't matter. She still can pull. If she takes from my money, it's her money. If I take from her money, it's my money.
Are we considering, like, let me just ask the question. Groceries, stuff for the house, is that in the 100% too? Or is that little knickknacks that a woman should do?
And 100%,
Does that take care, the 100% takes care of all of that?
it takes care of everything. It runs a house like you run a company. The expense account is what it is. There was a time that I would say to my wife, here, this is the money that goes for, okay, let's, because there's dimensions in marriages. When kids come in, you're not able to work. When my wife just had our son, what I was doing when we was where we was at that time, here's $2,000 every single week. Matter of fact, it was $2,500 every single week. $500 is for you to do whatever you want to do with. $2,000 is to put for the bills. And she would be the person to actually sit and pay the bills. We tried that out. Okay, you're gonna pay the bills. Now, if there's something extra, it stayed in the account. And so there was never anything that we had to go, well, you pay this or I'll pay. It just was it was just an income
But
to
I
take
think
care of
we're
whatever the
kinda
house
like-
needed to take care of.
We're kind of like saying the same thing because
But I would give it to her from my money. It wouldn't go into an account here. Take this, pay the bills.
right, but what my thing is, what does it matter if we have a joint account
Nothing.
and let's say I put 1,000 in and she only put 100 in, or she may have put 500 in, but the bill
The
costs.
difference is she's not putting anything in on my situation. That's the difference.
All right.
But that's the question I do ask though.
Mhm.
Obviously, you're saying you can put that right in, but that's where I go back to saying savings. If you save your money, if you're not doing anything, makes life much easier. As far as like, you know, maternity leave and all that type of stuff.
Well, again, for somebody who can't do that, then I believe that you gotta prepare for this type of stuff. If you know you're if you know you're gonna have kids and you want to give her the choice to stay home with those kids, then that has to be something that's talked about prior to and accounted for.
Well,
so if she's
talking about
working,
extended time staying home.
again,
Talking about the regular.
I don't know too many women who have kids and can't wait to get back to work unless she wants to be independent.
Meet my wife.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I don't know too many of them. I don't know too many. I don't know your wife. And I don't know many women that want to get back to work unless they are independent and they feel they need to work in order for them to have the lifestyle that they want. If they have a child and they know that they're in a situation that the lifestyle that can provide for their lifestyle, why wouldn't they want to be home and be with the thing that they created out of their own womb, that they nursed for the last 2 months? I'm not going to go back to work and leave this.
And that's what 50-50 makes that better, though.
I don't
want to know why? Because you're basically saying that I'm going to work my ass off and miss these moments.
Okay.
As a 1 month old,
let me ask you,
2 month old,
is it
3 month
okay?
old, and hold on, and on top of that, she might be going through postpartum. She might be going through certain things.
So where does 50-50 come in?
50-50 come in. You can take certain amount of time off.
Who?
The guy. You can take a certain amount of time off. She can take a certain amount of time off. Our money, we've been saving. She's been saving money. I've been saving money, so we're not hurting. Versus, I gotta go. I gotta stay. Hold on. I gotta stay working. I gotta stay working because I have to pay all the bills, and now I'm gonna sacrifice that time, those precious new months with my kid. And that leads me to my question.
Or if, again, going 100% versus 50-50 or 80-20, whatever you want, does not mean she doesn't have an income.
I know. I said.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I said, what do you do with the money?
So
whatever she wants.
Yeah, whatever she wants. And again, depending on who you choose, if she wants to have kids, then she needs to say, okay, well, guess what? I'm putting this money away. There's a possibility that my wife could want to do investments and she can have $1 million. Her salary can turn to $1 million in 5 years because she invested it the right way. It doesn't mean she's reckless with it. I'm not going to pick a chicken head off the street that's going to be reckless with the money. That's just a choice that a man has to make. Did you pick the right person?
You got an easier chance of You got an easier chance of creating a chicken head when you pay everything versus teaching them with superiority how to save the money. You have a better chance of creating somebody say, go ahead, do what you want with your money, or whatever she wants to do with her money. She want to do with her money.
Do you know that there's no such thing as a perfect woman?
Absolutely.
And do you know that as a man? Okay. So do you know as a man, our responsibility is to build that woman to what we need her to be for us? Do you
vice
agree with
versa.
that? But whether it's vice versa or not, but do you agree with that?
Say it again. Build a woman.
If I meet a woman, she is a blank canvas. The only thing she has is either the influence or lack of from her father. That's what she's. That's what she's going. That's she's going with.
Blank
canvas, Let me finish. And what I'm saying, a blank canvas in this relationship. Okay. So, as I said, the only thing she has on her canvas is what she learned, what she got or didn't get from her father.
And what if she got? What if she has more than you?
That's not my point, and that's not where I'm going with it. So let me finish my point.
That's logic, though.
You say more than me, like
it doesn't matter
because he said okay. So you need to build.
You still have to build. I didn't say that. I said build. I said build her into what you need her to be for you. I didn't say build her up.
That's the same thing.
It's not the same.
Building her. When you build something, it goes up, bro. Come on, let's not play games.
You can build. No, you can build. You can build horizontal, brother.
Build them.
You can build down. You can dig down. So
when you build something, you still gotta go up.
No, you don't. You can build horizontal. That's not my point.
So you said build them into what?
Build them in what you need her to be for you.
And that's what?
What you need for you. I don't know what's for you. What's for you? You need her to be able to tend to gardens and plant stuff and water something and whatever your vision is in your nature of self-sufficient thing.
That shit is kind of.
I more need my wife to take care of the things I'm not taking.
Okay,
right? So like
That's not building nobody into what you need them to do.
It is.
That's a
Watch
lot.
this right
That's
here.
a lot of.
Watch this right here. Watch this right here.
I feel like this is. I feel like this is you right here.
You need your wife to be good with finances, right? So then, how you build her into that? You put her in a class so she can learn finances, and you pay for that. You give her the resources to learn what you need her to learn, what you're not good at. That's all I'm saying. You taking it somewhere else, brother.
So if you're 100, why don't you do it?
Well, because there's a part in the relationship that she's responsible for.
And that's what?
Whatever I need her to do outside of what I do.
So basically, you're saying you're gonna do what I want you to do.
No.
That's what you're saying, bro.
No, I'm asking, again, I'm getting a woman based on what her qualities are and what her purpose, she believes her purpose is as far as in a relationship. So I'm having this conversation with my wife. I'm having this conversation. I'm not telling her anything.
No, I'm saying, if you tell her you need her to do something, and she say, no, I don't want to do that, then that's grounds for bye.
No. First of all, I never asked my wife to do anything she don't want to do. Have I ever asked
you
you
don't know?
Have I ever
you
asked
don't
you
know
to
if she want to do it until you ask her.
And if she said she didn't want to do it, then I said no problem.
So you can't build it.
That's not. But me asking
So
her
what if
to do
it's
something
that's
going to
be monumental? Like, let's take for example, the house. Now it's an investment property. You need her to take these classes. She don't want to do it, but you
don't do it then.
So
then
that's fine with you.
And I'll do it. First,
all right. So that's
never
bullshit for me.
Okay, I would never ask her to take investment classes.
Wow, bullshit, bro. You circling now, and that's crazy because you said you make all the decisions. So if you tell her you gotta do this, I need you to do this, and she say no, you just gonna say okay at this point? You are saying that she's gonna do it. You said you made all the decisions, and it's only what you say. Now you're saying that if she don't want to do it, it's okay.
I got a witness.
Then you said that.
I got a witness to say that.
I got a witness too.
Okay. So but this is what I said earlier. So this is what I said. I'm gonna tell you what I said earlier. I said I make all the decisions in the house. I don't make the decision with her life.
You make all the decisions in the household.
It doesn't. That's not her life.
That's
what she wants to do. No, what she wants to do. I don't choose where she works. I don't choose where she works.
I didn't say nothing about work. I said take a class for financial literacy. Okay, and I said if she don't want to do it, that's fine with me. First of all, you're not making the decisions, bro.
It's a hypothetical question that I would never answer anyway.
That's the first question I asked on this podcast.
It's not a question that I would
don't
ask
make
my
the decisions
wife.
then.
It's not a question. But first of all,
okay,
I got my wife right here. She can tell you who makes the decision.
You just said she won't do it.
First of all, it's a hypothetical
question. But you said you make the decision.
You said that if she doesn't do it.
So you said okay.
It's okay.
So you don't make the decisions. Because if you need her to do it and she's not doing it, then you don't make the
I don't need her to do it. That's a hypothetical question.
So
it's hypothetical. It's hypothetical. I don't need her to do it. I don't need her to do it.
It ain't joint because she's not doing it,
bro. You are.
That's the crazy.
You are, bro. You whack, bro.
You super whack. Whatever you
super whack,
bro. That's a fact.
It's not a fact, bro.
You said you make all the decisions.
Rather than argue with me, why don't you try to get my perspective?
No, you've been talking the whole time, bro.
And you haven't
been talking the whole time.
But you're
so
saying
don't tell me try to get your point when everybody here had points and you try to talk over her, trying to talk over him,
and you're
not
gonna
talk over
me. You're talking over me.
Because you're not gonna talk over me.
I don't want to talk over
you. That's the thing.
I want you.
You can't tell me to try to get your point.
I'm not telling you
when
that,
your points are very much bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just trying to tell you, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's facts.
My points are bullshit.
Because you want me to get your point.
No, I don't want you
saying that
I don't want you to get my
point. Is a recipe for disaster, but won't listen to the facts of you can help somebody with responsibility. How is that disaster? Teaching somebody responsibility. Better yet, when I just told you, no, I don't want you to answer.
Then why
when I just told you that if you want her to do something as far as go to a class and she say no, but somebody can't ask them to pay a bill, does that make either one of them a man? If she say no to you and she say no to paying a bill, who's the bigger man in that picture? Huh?
Well, I never said anything
I'm asking a question. I'm not talking about her.
Neither one of them. Neither one of them is
now it's neither one of them.
What are you talking about?
That was neither one. But it's a recipe for disaster both ways, though, right? Because she won't do the investments that you think is gonna better the family, and they won't, and they want to go 50-50. So both of them are a recipe for disaster when you think you're superior in a relationship, bro. You have to see the bigger picture because you want all of us
to see the bigger picture, but it's a bigger picture that you got to see too, bro.
Bro, I don't
And
want
once
you
you
to
really-
see anything, bro.
Oh, now you don't want. You've been saying that the whole time, bro. That you want us to see the bigger picture. We gotta listen to you. Let me finish my sentence. That's what you've been saying the whole
I
time.
want to be able to get my point
We
out.
understand where
Yes.
you're going with it. Everybody here has got your groove already.
Okay.
Like literally.
Okay, so then where we go from here?
Because you're trying to talk over everybody, and it don't work that way, bro.
Am I talking
It's
over you?
it's very much
I'm not
so
talking
dialect,
over
bro.
Yeah, am I talking over you?
You have
Now you're not.
Yeah.
you have
You're talking over the person.
talking
You're
over
trying
me
to
now.
talk over the person that's pushing back on everything you say.
But what I'm saying, but this was my point, right? Because initially when you reached out to me, I was in my mind. It was like there's a social construct of how a marriage is supposed to look, and I think because we've been so conditioned by our society of how a marriage should look. There's so much confusion where you have the fully conservative and you have the full liberal, but there's a middle ground to where that's why I said, no, we at one point in time we did have separate accounts where I had my own and she had hers. Then I said, well, why do that? My mother always said to me, right? She says it to me to this day. I admire how you and my wife have a joint account because her and my stepfather have separate accounts. And he is very much so, this is my money, that is your money, and you have to pay for this and I'll pay for that. Where our account is, look, I do want to be the sole breadwinner. Like that is my goal to make sure I bring most of the income in. But if I can't, I gotta be okay if my wife helps out with that. I can't feel lesser a man that my wife helped me pay this car note that she wanted me to get, but I said, all right, cool, let's get the car. Now I can't feel bad when she's like, all right, I'm gonna do Uber so I can help pay for the rest of the car. You know what I'm saying? I can't feel less of a man. I think most men feel, or when you have a man that's sitting, that's saying, you have to be 100, you got to take care of this, you got to do that, in a society where it's not easy for us to provide. Now we don't have a luxury life, so we're not always like, oh, let's do this, let's buy this. I need garden equipment, let's get my garden equipment. We were picking in the garden today, and my wife, she appreciates the fact that we grow our own food, or I go to the garden and I'll pick some herbs and she'll mix it up and we're eating fresh herbs in our food and stuff like that. Opposed to the woman today that I gave her a piece and she's like, oh, it was a big joke. Oh, I'm like a cow, I'm eating grass. And it's like, everybody's laughing. So it all depends on what we value as individuals to determine what our marriage should be like. Somebody might say, I love taking trips. So that couple may be always Florida, Bahamas or wherever. And another couple is like, I wouldn't mind taking a trip, but I'm okay with, going to a park, having a picnic or something like that. It all depends on what each person values as a whole. So,
Take it home, TW.
Well, I think that you're whack as a host. And the reason why is because you rather have chaos than understanding. And that's just my opinion.
Oh, so from the loudest person out here. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't
They'll
want
see
chaos,
it,
though.
bro. They'll see it.
Again, I'm talking now.
Because you're speaking bullshit.
He gave me the floor, and then he wants to.
All right. Well, if you want me to take the
But
floor,
you're gonna finish off, and you're gonna have whatever you want to say.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I gave you the respect because he had it.
What I'm saying is this right here, is that you prefer
It's like 2 minutes.
chaos over understanding. I don't want anybody to agree with me. I want to just be able to say what my opinion is and what works for me. If you agree with it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. My thing is this right here. I think that I sent this man a text saying that I believe 50-50 is a disaster, is a setup for a disaster. And I have my reasons why. And the reason why I believe that is because a man will never be a full man in a situation that he's asking a woman to take part in his responsibility versus him taking the full responsibility. Whether it's dominant, whether it's superior, these are all words that mean different things to different people. My thing is this right here, my wife's right here. I don't dominate her. But she chose a man that she believed was capable of handling the situations that she didn't want to handle. If I need my wife to do something and I ask her to do it, she don't want to do it, I never press it. Simple as that. But the point is this right here. If you're trying to have a relationship that will work, I'm telling you what works for me. Get your money up, get yourself in a position where your wife has a choice whether she wants to contribute. And if she does contribute, that's extra. You can take that money and let her get her nails done with it, or you can take that money and invest it and prepare for a rainy day. But the point is this right here. I will not have my wife farmed out to some other guy working, getting chased around a desk by some other dude, and me using that as income so I can get a lavish lifestyle. If you're doing it because you have to survive, that's formidable, that's respectable. But most people, and if you want to talk about the nefarious people, Ty, the nefarious people is guys will farm their wives out to bring more income in just so they can have a better car or a better house. And I think that's being less than a man, my opinion. But if you're doing
that.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You said it. You said that. That's why I'm saying it. You said that.
You said
no,
guys farming their wife out?
Well, you said it in
to
so many.
Get that better car. When did I ever say that?
You didn't say that. I'm saying you're saying the point. I'm agreeing with you, Ty.
No, you said I said
I didn't say
that's
that.
whack.
No, I didn't say that.
You said I said that they farmed them out.
No, he's saying you
just want to be controversial.
No, I'm asking you. You said I
didn't disagree with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We agree on that.
Yes.
Got you.
And you want to argue with me about it, so
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, and I'm telling you we are. But the point is this, right? There's nefarious peoples on both sides. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And for a guy,
the nefarious people is on the woman. Remember I told you.
But that's true too. But there are guys that take advantage of women in that situation where they get a woman that can bring 50% so that they can go spend their money on bullshit versus preparing for their family and their health. And that's all I'm saying. So if a man is serious about a relationship, serious about being the CEO of his family, he should put precaution and he should put the steps in place so that he could provide for his woman and his household on his own. And if anything ever happens, that income is a plus.
So he thinks I'm whack. That's cool. I heard worse. I'm a correction officer.
Yeah. but
everybody, hold up, because I let you talk.
I'm just cool. I'm cool.
I'm throwing straight.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Supposed to do. I ain't got no problem. He said, I only wanted controversy. Yes. That's why I brought you up here, bro. That's why I got you up here. That's why I got her up. That's the point of this. This is the world we live in. That's why we're talking about this topic, because that topic is the world we live in. You have one view on it. I have one view. He has another view. She's 50-50 and love it, which is crazy that a woman loves it. And what I feel about that is you completely disrespected her. Because you disrespected her husband. Because you're basically saying he's not a man. Because you said you're not a real man if you're not 50-50, if you are 50-50. You just said that in your last statement. So, with that being said, okay.
I said that you can't be a full man. You can't be
a full man,
not a real
half a man.
Well, you can't step into your role. You can't step into your role.
Shit like that is completely disrespectful, and he disrespected her. Saying, I didn't. You know what? I won't even say disrespect because you got your own opinion, and I respect your opinion. Yeah. But it's crazy though, because she might make more money than all of us, and we never know. People like TW, I won't be careful. People like TW are the reason why guys feel like they got to do bullshit to get women.
All right, so now we're gonna stop.
Because that's not my message. If you're not good at college, if you're not good at a trade, but a woman loves you for who you are, he's basically saying you still can't be a man and you don't deserve that chick because you don't have the money. And he tried to agree with me with everything that comes to the 1%, but it's people in regular situations, and he's trying to talk to my boy right now.
I didn't feel disrespected.
He's trying to talk to my boy right now to get somebody on his side.
I'm asking him a question. Did I disrespect?
Everybody that understands this is gonna know that
that's your opinion, brother.
Shit like that is like
That's your
It's
opinion, bro.
it's fine, bro. You're
but
trying to talk over the mic so they can't get the message.
That's
And that's
not what I'm
cool.
trying to do. I'm saying
You can't
you're telling
dominate me in a situation like
I'm
that, bro.
I'm talking
I didn't speak when you spoke.
Yeah, but you spoke.
If that's the case, you could just cut the mic off.
You talking about me.
Like,
This man
absolutely.
didn't
You talking
feel-
about, bro,
he
the
didn't feel
first thing that
disrespected.
came out of your
He
mouth.
didn't feel
The
disrespected.
first, I don't care if he felt disrespect.
That sounds disrespectful.
Am I him? Am I him?
That sounds disrespectful.
I'm not
That
disrespectful.
sounds more disrespectful than anything. You don't care whether it's disrespectful.
I am not him. He's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not her.
But
He's
you're
not
not in
her.
a 50-50.
It doesn't matter. I'm not in
So
a
you're
100-0
saying-
either.
So you're saying
And I
that
bet you can't tell me nothing that's wrong with what I do, bro.
none of it's wrong,
You
bro.
can't
It's
tell
all
me I'm
preference.
less.
It's all
You
preference.
can't even do the
It's
job
all
I do,
preference.
bro.
You don't know what I can do.
And you have to be a man to do the job.
And you are a man. And I never disrespect
No, you
I-
basically said I'm not a man.
I just think
You said you're less of a man if you don't go 100-0.
I never said that. First of all,
You can't just say that.
I never said
Well, look,
100-0.
Listen to
I
Greg.
said
Listen
that
to Greg.
percentage-wise. I said
This is why I
Listen to
said-
Greg. Listen to Greg.
This is why I said my piece as far as because I can't provide the way, in a sense, how you presented it. I don't want to feel lesser of a man. You know what I'm saying? Because when you said, and I might be paraphrasing because I don't want to say the exact words, where you basically said that if he is doing 50-50, he's not a whole man, and a whole man is like, what is that defined as a whole man?
Money. That's it.
That's not. I don't agree.
Because we're talking about money.
Well,
That's all we're
again,
talking about right now is
We
money,
can
bro.
talk about money, but
We're not talking about sex. We're not talking about strength. We're not talking about fixing cars. We're talking about money.
Okay.
That's it.
So I'm gonna concede to
Only
this.
thing we're talking about.
I'm gonna
is money.
concede to this.
Concede, bro.
No, I'm gonna concede. What I mean by that is this right here. If we're talking about money, then a lot of the things that I
It
said.
ain't no if. No, the only thing
Because
we're talking
okay, well,
about.
let me rephrase it then. Because we're talking about money, some of the things I say may not apply. But I'm speaking as a whole in relationships.
Bro,
so
this
when I
is
say-
not your podcast.
I know.
You can't bring it
But
from.
I can talk about what
We're
I can answer
we
the
talking
question.
about paying the bills. You can't make it about what you want in this podcast.
I'm not trying to make it.
Yes, you
Podcast is
are. You
over
said
now.
I'm talking about a whole relationship. It's not what we're talking
Podcast is
about.
over, bro.
We're talking. No, it's not. It's still rolling, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying, oh, it is.
Yes.
I thought we were done. But anyway,
You kept talking.
but
I was doing the last piece, and you still wanted to talk.
Yeah,
Dominant that you're trying to insert on me that doesn't work, bro.
I'm not trying to say
It doesn't. You are, bro.
Tell me
Because
that.
now you're talking about some. If we're only talking about money, this podcast was about financials.
All I was saying.
It was only about
Ty,
financials.
all I was saying was this.
No, only thing you were saying, you just said it.
I know what I said.
I'm gonna talk
But the
about
reason
it
why-
as a whole.
The reason why I
No,
said
we're
that-
gonna talk about
The
financials.
reason why I
If we're
said
not gonna talk about financials, that's it. And that's the end of the podcast.
That's what I was saying. Is that at the end of the day, some relationships are more than just finances. So when I speak, I'm speaking for overall provision for a man. I never said anything specifically about money. I talked about provision. And provision looks different ways. Your provision is respectable when it comes to the things that you do. I said that from day one, from the beginning. It's not always about money. It's about being able to provide for
This
that
podcast was
security.
about money,
I get it. But again, some people have.
but you absolutely right. It's not always about money.
Yeah, but
That's what I was trying to have this podcast about.
Let me ask you a question, Ty. Why was it so hostile about just every little point? It just seemed
Because,
like,
bro, you trying to change people's minds.
I'm not. Why do you think I'm trying to change?
I'm talking about
somebody's
us. You was trying to change our minds
No.
hard as fuck on shit.
No, I wasn't, bro.
the thing about it
Bro,
was,
that's the thing. I wasn't really trying to change your mind.
I feel like you was.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I wasn't.
And I have to talk how I'm talking
Bro,
because she wasn't, and
the thing
I know where he's coming from.
the thing
I know this brother, by the way.
This the only thing I felt. That's the
Okay,
only
so-
thing I felt, bro.
No, I'm not
Listen,
saying I know where you're coming from. Like,
Listen,
I'm just saying
this-
like he's cool.
this the
yeah, I
only-
know, and I fuck with him.
this the only
And
thing
I never
felt.
tried to disrespect him. And I asked him, did I disrespect? He said, no, I didn't feel
Bro,
disrespected.
I don't. What I'm trying to tell you is, there's no disrespect in this.
Bro, but for you
We really debating.
before you to point at me and say it's people like him that that's disrespectful.
You call me whack, bro.
Yeah, because you
So
told me
you-
I was a liar.
So you think, and this is my problem.